Chapter 283. After leaving Lin Jiyun's house, Yang Ming went straight to Fong Tian's house. During this period of time in Hong Kong, he had already delayed his daily training. He didn't know if his master, old Master Fong, would be mad at him. When Yang Ming rushed over, Fong Tian was watching TV at home. When he saw Yang Ming coming, he didn't bother with him and continued to watch TV. "Old man Fong, why are you ignoring me?" Yang Ming smiled. "Someone is looking for you. Be careful during this period of time," Fong Tian said faintly. "Ah." Yang Ming was stunned. He didn't expect Fong Tian to say this directly. However, he couldn't help but frown after listening. Did Fong Tian receive any news? "I was indeed targeted when I was in Hong Kong. Old man, do you know something?" "I don't know the specifics. I just received news that someone wants to deal with you." Fong Tian said. "Why? They have already started?" "It should be. When I was in Hong Kong." Yang Ming told about what happened in Hong Kong. "Old man Fong, how did you know?" "I have my own channel. I will tell you about this channel in the future." Fong Tian said. "Well, there are a few insider discs of various industries. They involve some industry knowledge such as sports, gambling, aircraft piloting, and so on. I asked Dong Jun to steal them from some professional assassin training bases abroad. He can take them home and have a look." "Stolen from a professional assassin training base?" Yang Ming shook his head. This sentence sounded simple, but how difficult would it be to actually do it? There were many masters there and the security was tight. It seemed that Dong Jun's skills had reached the realm of perfection. Yang Ming thought, when can I be like Dong Jun? "You can go back and have a look at these first. Dong Jun is now abroad. He is looking for information on other industries for you. As a qualified assassin, you must understand all kinds of industries. You may not be proficient, but you must at least be proficient. Otherwise, you are likely to suffer a big loss." Dong Jun said. "Right, don't stop your physical training. Your speed, strength, and reflexes are still not good enough. You might be considered pretty good in China, but many people on the international assassin list can kill you in seconds." "Instant kill?" Yang Ming sweated profusely. This term was only invented in recent years. "And that's right. If you have a real-life PK with some foreign assassin organizations, the other party can kill you instantly." Fong Tian nodded. Yang Ming was speechless. "Old man Fong, you seem to be quite fashionable. New trend? You are an assassin. I have already said that you need to understand a lot and keep up with the times. What's so strange about knowing a few internet terms? Not only me but you too. You have to gradually force yourself to understand those things that you weren't interested in before. For example, the current popular TV series, popular songs, popular celebrities, the most popular games on the internet, the most popular books, and so on." Fong Tian said. "Understood." Yang Ming nodded. He knew that what Fong Tian said was very reasonable. "Then you should go back. Don't come to my place recently. After you finish reading these materials, give me a call. I have to do something. I might not be at home recently." Fong Tian said. "Old man Fong, where are you going?" Yang Ming asked curiously. "Abroad to Europe." Fong Tian said. "I will contact you when I get there. Well, then you be careful." Yang Ming nodded and didn't ask any more because Fong Tian would tell him anything that he could know. Yang Ming guessed that he might have gone to find Dong Jun. He couldn't be going on a trip, right? "No one can kill me yet. You can rest assured. Moreover, I'm just going on a trip," Fong Tian said with a smile. "A trip?" Yang Ming was stunned. Tonight was the time to return to school. Yang Ming drove directly to school because Zhang Bin would definitely return to school today. When he was leaving, Yang Ming suddenly thought that Lin Jiyun should be going to school tomorrow, right? Instead of squeezing into the subway in the morning, it was better to go back together tonight. Therefore, after Yang Ming came out from Fong Tian's house, he called Lin Jiyun's house. Lin Chongqing went to bed first. Xin Yueping and Lin Jiyun didn't drink, so they weren't very sleepy. They were sitting on the coffee table in the living room and chatting. Xin Yueping was asking Lin Jiyun about her and Yang Ming. The phone rang. "Hello, hello." Xin Yueping picked up the phone. "Hello, Auntie Xin. I'm Yang Ming." Yang Ming heard Xin Yueping's voice on the phone. "It's Yang Ming. Are you home? What's the matter with Yun Air?" Xin Yueping said enthusiastically. "I haven't gone back yet. I came back halfway. I think Xiyun has to go to school tomorrow anyway. Why don't I pick her up tonight to go back to school? Otherwise she will have to squeeze into the subway tomorrow." Yang Ming said. That's right. Yun Air's tutoring has been changed to the morning. She doesn't have to stay at home on weekends. Xin Yueping thought about it. Originally, Lin Jiyun's tutoring on Sunday was at 8 o'clock in the evening. The tutoring place wasn't close to the school, so she could only go home at night. Now that the tutoring time had been changed, she could go back to school directly on Sunday night. Then should I pick up Jiyun now? Asked Yang Ming. Alright, then you do it. Xin Yueping readily agreed. Xin Yueping was an experienced person. How could she believe that Yang Ming came back just to pick up her daughter back to school? It must be that the young man couldn't help but miss her, so he wanted to do something else at night. Xin Yueping could understand this. Anyway, she had already recognized Yang Ming, so she wasn't so strict about these aspects. Mom, what's going on? Lin Jiyun waited for her mother to hang up the phone before she asked. Yang Ming just called and said that he wanted to pick you up to go back to school together. I asked him to come over. Xin Yueping said. It's already so late. He still came over? Lin Jiyun was stunned. She didn't expect Yang Ming to be so concerned about her. The relationship between the two of them was just a pretense now. He cares about you. Xin Yueping smiled ambiguously. Now that your dad is asleep, let's talk about something personal. You tell Mom. Yang Ming. Did you take any safety measures? Safety measures? Lin Jiyun was stunned. She didn't know what her mother was talking about. That is, when you did it, did he wear a condom? Xin Yueping said it more straightforwardly this time. Lin Jiyun's face suddenly blushed. Mom, why are you asking this? Of course I have to ask. This is very important. You are still young. You can't just be greedy for pleasure. What if something happened? What should we do? Xin Yueping said with an earnest look. We didn't. Lin Jiyun stuttered and wanted to say that we didn't do it. But when she thought about it, it wasn't right. I did do it. How do I say this? But Xin Yueping misunderstood when she heard it. She immediately said seriously, you see, I guess that you didn't wear a condom. Yunair, this can't be. Mom has sent someone over. I have to tell you that a woman's safe period isn't so accurate. Sometimes there are errors. In other words, he always put it outside your body, but this can't be. It isn't necessarily safe. Didn't your father and I accidentally have you back then? Lin Jiyun listened and wanted to find a hole to hide in. Why is Mom telling me this? Xin Yueping actually loved her daughter, so she taught her these physiological knowledge. In China, many schools didn't pay much attention to the subject of physiological health, which caused students to lack knowledge about sex. Most of their knowledge came from foreign adult movies, so they didn't know much about contraception. This also caused many girls who got pregnant before marriage and went to the hospital for abortion. Many of them were underage. Xin Yueping often saw such news in the newspaper. So, as a qualified mother, she felt obligated to explain this knowledge to her daughter clearly. She saw that her daughter didn't speak, so she thought that she was accepting her education, so she continued, if in case you did it impulsively without any preparation, you must tell Mom afterward. Mom will buy you emergency contraceptive pills. Don't take it lightly. This is a big deal. Lin Jiyun didn't know what to say. Well, Mom knows that you are embarrassed, but you better explain these words to Yang Ming clearly. This is related to your life's happiness. Xin Yueping said very solemnly, if you are embarrassed, it doesn't matter. Mom will find him one day and Mom will tell him. Chapter 284. Don't. Mom, let me talk to him. Lin Jiyun was shocked. If her mother found Yang Ming and told him what I just said, I would be ashamed to death. Well, then you must tell him clearly. You have to say it in a while. Xin Yueping said, girls have to learn to protect themselves. Right, do you have condoms? Why don't I give you a few to keep with you? No need. Lin Jiyun quickly declined. My goodness, if others found out that I was wearing a condom, how am I going to live? As they were talking, there was a knock on the door. It seemed that Yang Ming had arrived. Xin Yueping quickly stood up and opened the door. Sure enough, she saw Yang Ming standing at the door. Yang Ming, you're here. So fast. And I'm not far away, so I'll be back soon. Yang Ming nodded and said, Auntie Xin, is Xiyun ready? Well, aren't we talking about your matter? Isn't that right, Yunair? Xin Yueping looked at her daughter and smiled ambiguously. Yeah. Lin Jiyun nodded quickly. She was afraid that her mother would say something inappropriate, so she said to herself, I'm ready. Yang Ming, let's go? Her daughter's move in Xin Yueping's eyes became that her daughter hadn't been intimate with Yang Ming for a long time. She was also anxious. Well, I won't delay you young people from communicating. Go ahead. Xin Yueping smiled and said, Yang Ming, you're a boy. Some things must be based on safety first. What safety first? Yang Ming was somewhat inexplicable. Punishin, you can rest assured. I will drive slowly. I'm not talking about this. Well, Yun Air will tell you. Right, Yun Air? Xin Yueping was forcing her daughter to tell the truth to Yang Ming. I will. Lin Jiyun braced herself and nodded. What was that? Yang Ming was confused. He went out of the alley with Lin Jiyun. When they got in the car, Yang Ming asked, Jiyun, what did Auntie Shin just say? Nothing. Lin Jiyun shook her head. It's really inexplicable. Yang Ming said to himself and started the car. When they arrived at the school, Yang Ming sent Lin Jiyun to the girls' dormitory and told her to call him at any time if there was anything. Lin Jiyun nodded and expressed her gratitude to Yang Ming. He felt a little strange. Yang Ming's attitude towards her at noon and at night was completely different. What was going on? Lin Jiyun couldn't understand, so she didn't think much about it. Yang Ming parked the car in the school parking lot and walked toward the dormitory. Before he walked to the dormitory, the phone rang. Yang Ming glanced at the caller ID. It was actually Ho Jinhan. Ho Jinhan hadn't contacted him for a while. Yang Ming told him to play it by ear because he was going to Hong Kong. Ho Jinhan must have something important to discuss with him since he called him today. Oh. Yang Ming picked up the phone. Brother Yang, I am Big Ho, said Ho Jinhan. Ho Jinhan's mother called him Little Monkey. Yang Ming felt that this nickname was quite unpleasant. Ho Jinhan was the future underworld boss of Songjiang. It was a bit awkward to call him Little Monkey, so he called him Big Ho. I know. How are things over there? Asked Yang Ming. Yuxiangda cooperated with Dong Hai's Four Snakes gang. Bao Sanli is now retreating. Many territories in the south of the city have fallen into the hands of Yuxiangda. It can be said that if this continues, Bao Sanli's days are numbered. Ho Jinhan said. Then you mean Bao Sanli is not going to continue like this? Asked Yang Ming. Brother Yang is really powerful. He guessed it right. Bao Sanli just contacted me and asked me to discuss cooperation. Ho Jinhan smiled. And this is inevitable. 2 against 1, it is obvious that Bao Sanli will suffer. Yang Ming said, first drag it out and slowly talk to him about the conditions. Do what I told you before. I know, said Ho Jinhan. Hanging up the phone, Yang Ming sighed. Although it is somewhat unrighteous to do this, things in this world are like this. Many people can share weal and woe, but it is impossible to share happiness. The loyal Bao Sanli that he knew was in the detention center. Now Bao Sanli, with his huge forces, was full of desire for power. It was impossible for him to be willing to share benefits with others. Therefore Yang Ming had to use some dishonorable means to get a share of the pie. Before he took 2 steps, Yang Ming's cell phone rang again. Yang Ming thought it was still Ho Jinhan, so he didn't look at the caller ID carefully and picked it up directly. Hello, is there anything else? Asked Yang Ming. And, Big brother, it's me. Yang Xiaobo, what's the matter? The voice on the other side of the phone was somewhat inexplicable. Oh, it's you. Thought it was a friend. Yang Ming smiled. Why did you call me? Big brother, I just called your home. Second uncle said that you were at school, so he asked me to call you. Yang Xiaobo said, Big brother, are you back from Hong Kong? I just came back yesterday. Yang Ming said, I brought you a pair of sneakers and a set of clothes. Big brother also brought me a gift. Thank you so much. Yang Xiaobo said happily. Can I forget you? Yang Ming said, I will look for you in 2 days and give you the things. Don't wait for 2 days. Our school is having a campus art festival tomorrow. I guess there will be nothing in the afternoon. Big brother, can you come over? Yang Xiaobo was envious when he heard that there was a gift. Okay, if I have nothing to do, I will come and see you. Yang Ming said, why don't you not eat at noon? I will come over at noon tomorrow. No problem, big brother. Then I will wait for you. You must come. Yang Xiaobo said. When did big brother lie to you? Yang Ming smiled helplessly. Since childhood, this younger brother was close to him. Chapter 285. Early the next morning, Yang Ming, Zhang Bin and Tian Donghua came to the school cafeteria for breakfast. Yang Ming, did you bring a gift for Qin Mengyan? Asked Zhang Bin. Yes. Yang Ming nodded. Right, how is Meng Yan recently? Is there any movement? Still the same. She's very simple. Except for coming to class every day, she doesn't seem to participate in other things. Zhang Bin shook his head. Bro, you have to find a way to take action quickly. Do you think I don't want to? Yang Ming smiled bitterly. I don't have an entry point. There's no opportunity. If I go to find her like this, will she care about me? AI, forget it. I won't say more about your matters. In short, you have to grasp it well. Recently, there are a lot of people who write love letters to Qin Mengyan. Zhang Bin reminded him. I know. I will pay attention. Yang Ming nodded and said. After breakfast, Tian Donghua accompanied Yang Ming to class, and Zhang Bin went to class by himself. I really don't understand you. You don't go to your own class, but you accompany me to join in the fun. Yang Ming looked at Tian Donghua next to him and said strangely, I'm just bored. Tian Donghua said, in the days when you didn't come back, I was sleeping in the dormitory. Why didn't you go to class with Zhang Bin? Asked Yang Ming. Damn, do you think I don't want to? I just went to listen to half of the class and I was kicked out by an old lady. She said that I wasn't her student. Damn, I'm so unlucky. Tian Donghua complained. Yang Ming smiled. Which university had some more rigid professors? Tian Donghua was unlucky. Yang Ming, you missed so many classes. Where have you been? As soon as he entered the classroom, Sun Jiwei greeted him. A few days ago he was inexplicably beaten up, so Sun Jiwei was furious. When he saw Yang Ming come in, he was ready to vent his anger on him. He went to Hong Kong, Yang Ming said faintly. He didn't want to answer, but Sun Jiwei was the class monitor after all. Yang Ming didn't want to embarrass him. Do you know what the consequences will be if I report to the tutor after you've been absent for so long? Sun Jiwei threatened. He wanted to see Yang Ming bow down to him. I don't know. Yang Ming didn't want to waste time with him, so he ignored him and went to find a seat with Tian Donghua. I'm talking to you. Sun Jiwei was furious when he saw Yang Ming leave. If you beg me now, I will help you suppress this matter. Otherwise, you will be in trouble. Really? Then you go and complain. Yang Ming said in a bad mood. Why is this person like a child? He must have been spoiled when he was a child. But you wait. Sun Jiwei said fiercely. Yang Ming didn't care. Lu Weishan took him out. Who dared not to give him face in the school? Besides, Xiaoqing had already greeted Xie Yongqiang before, so let Sun Jiwei go. Idiot. Yang Ming scolded. Sun family's young master. If the Sun family really passed to his hands, it wouldn't be far from decline. Tian Donghua sighed. Yang Ming didn't care about Tian Donghua's words. After all, it didn't matter to him. The decline of their family had nothing to do with him. Yang Ming, the Zhou Jiejia in your class isn't bad. Can you introduce me to her? Tian Donghua stared at Zhou Jiejia, who wasn't far away. She's not in our class. She's in class 1. I'm not familiar with her. If you want to know her, you can talk to her yourself. Yang Ming glanced at Zhou Jiejia and said, Forget it. I'm already hurt. I don't want to be hurt. Tian Donghua shook his head. This woman seems to be very smart. It's not easy to get her. Smart? Yang Ming asked curiously. Tian Donghua's evaluation of Zhou Jiejia was actually smart. Yeah, didn't you see that many people ask her for advice when they don't know? Tian Donghua said. Yang Ming looked up. Sure enough, many people were asking Zhou Jiejia for advice with books. So he said, maybe some pig brothers want to get her? That also shows that she does have real talent. These pig brothers can start with learning. Otherwise, if you ask those women who don't know anything, it won't be effective. Tian Donghua analyzed. That's true. Why don't you ask her? Yang Ming said casually. Forget it. Even if I want to ask, I can't find a problem. I never study. Tian Donghua sighed. Yang Ming thought that Tian Donghua still had some self-awareness. However, Zhou Jiejia's grades weren't bad since she was a child. He should be a good student. Yang Ming just didn't like some of her practices. However, Yang Ming was also quite puzzled. There weren't many girls who studied computer science. Why was Zhou Jiejia interested in this? However, Yang Ming was just curious. He wasn't interested in her matters. At noon, after Yang Ming said goodbye to Zhang Bin, he hurriedly drove to his high school alma mater, Songjiang No. 4 High School. There were gifts for his younger brother Yang Xiaobo and Zhao Ying and Li Huihua in the car. Yang Ming hadn't seen Zhao Ying for a long time. He was preparing to visit her this time. Yang Ming also knew that it was unlikely for anything to happen between the two of them. However, every time he thought of Zhao Ying, there was always a trace of reluctance in Yang Ming's heart. As for Li Huihua, she was the only teacher besides Zhao Ying that Yang Ming bought a gift for. Yang Ming had always been very grateful to Li Huihua, especially during the incident with Chen Afu. Li Huihua was even more protective of Yang Ming. Therefore, Yang Ming had always remembered her kindness in his heart. Although Li Huihua was usually strict with her students, she loved her students very much. She had no prejudice against anyone and she was more open-minded. She wasn't the kind of rigid person. Therefore, Yang Ming always thought that Li Huihua was the model of a good teacher. If he met her in junior high school, then he and Suya should be a couple now, right? However, things had already passed. No one could change it. Yang Ming was going to call Yang Xiaobo to ask him if he was in school. Yang Ming took advantage of the free time at the intersection to call Yang Xiaobo. "Hello Xiaobo, I am your brother. Where are you? Are you in school?" asked Yang Ming. "Big brother, I am in school. When are you coming?" asked Yang Xiaobo. "I am on the way. I may be there in 10 minutes. You wait for me at the school gate," instructed Yang Ming. "Okay, then I will wait for you at the school gate now," replied Yang Xiaobo. After hanging up the phone, the signal light at the intersection just turned green again. Yang Ming immediately drove in the direction of number 4 high school. Before he reached the gate of number 4 high school, Yang Ming saw his younger brother Yang Xiaobo from a distance. Beside him there was actually a girl standing. The two of them were talking about something. It seemed that their relationship was very close. Could it be that my brother has a girlfriend? Yang Ming thought about it and carefully looked at the girl. The girl was of medium height. Her appearance was delicate. She belonged to the kind of upper middle class. Looking at her age, she should be about the same as Yang Xiaobo. Yang Ming parked the car at the gate of number 4 high school. Then he got off the car and shouted to Yang Xiaobo, "Xiaobo here? Big brother." When Yang Xiaobo heard Yang Ming calling him, he turned around in surprise. "Hey, big brother, you bought a car?" "It's a friend's car. I borrowed it to drive." Yang Ming smiled. "You have been waiting for a long time, right? It's okay. It didn't take long." Yang Xiaobo said, "Right, big brother, let me introduce you. This is my classmate Shenhua. Shenhua, this is my big brother Yang Ming. I told you before." "Hello, big brother." Shenhua nodded shyly and said with a blush, Hello Xiaobo. You have a good eye." Yang Ming praised casually. How could he not understand his brother's words? This girl was most likely his girlfriend. Sure enough, when the girl named Shenhua heard Yang Ming, her face became redder. She lowered her head and didn't dare to raise it again. Yang Ming smiled and patted Yang Xiaobo's shoulder. "Good, you kid. You are much better than your big brother. You already have a girlfriend in your first year of high school." I am just inheriting my big brother's legacy." Yang Xiaobo smiled. "Get lost. I'm not dead yet." Yang Ming was furious. He slapped Yang Xiaobo's head. "What is legacy? Only the dead can leave a legacy." Looking at the two brothers talking and laughing here, Shenhua couldn't help but laugh. "Brother, where are my things?" asked Yang Xiaobo. "You only care about your things." Yang Ming shook his head. "It's in the car. Let's go eat first. Put the things here and come back." "That's fine too. Brother, you treat us to KFC. It's just in front," said Yang Xiaobo. "All right, I'll eat whatever you say." Yang Ming didn't care. So he asked, "What about your girlfriend?" Yang Xiaobo said with a sad face, "I can't tell my family about this kind of thing. Turned out to be like this. This is a serious matter." Yang Ming nodded and said, "Okay, but don't talk about lending it. Consider it as a big brother supporting your money to pick up girls." "Are you serious?" "Thank you, big brother," Yang Xiaobo said happily. He didn't need to be polite with Yang Ming. He was his own big brother. Why should he be polite? Is 200 enough? Yang Ming took out his wallet and took out 500 yuan and gave it to Yang Xiaobo. "I will give you 500 yuan. Now the prices are so expensive. It's not easy to celebrate someone's birthday. You can't be too shabby." "Wow. Big brother, I really love you." Yang Xiaobo was overjoyed. He took the money and couldn't close his mouth. "Hey, the things are here. Hurry up and carry the plates." Yang Ming kicked Yang Xiaobo. "Yes." Yang Xiaobo said happily. He thought 500 yuan. If I use it well, maybe I can save money to get a room in the hotel. The two brothers walked back to their previous position with the plates. Yang Ming saw a boy sitting next to Shenhua and talking about something. Your classmate? Yang Ming didn't think about it and asked casually. No. He is from grade 1 class 8. Yang Xiaobo said firmly and then walked over quickly. Zhang Song, why are you here again? Shenhua is my girlfriend. Why are you always pestering her? Yang Xiaobo asked. Oh, why are you so resentful? This is KFC, a public place. Who said that I can't be here? Zhang Song shrugged and said. Then you can get up now. We are going to eat. Yang Xiaobo said coldly. You eat your food. Don't worry about me. I still want to talk to Sister Shenhua about life and ideals. Zhang Song didn't have the intention to get up. My brother is here today. You better not cause trouble. Yang Xiaobo had some headaches with Zhang Song. This guy relied on his brother who was a gangster in grade 3. He was very badass in school. Yang Xiaobo wasn't willing to have any direct conflict with him. But since last month this guy actually began to pursue Shenhua. Yang Xiaobo was very annoyed that he tried to steal Shenhua's woman. He wanted to fight with Yang Xiaobo, but when he thought of his rascal brother he endured it. Ah, you are using your brother to threaten me? I'm so scared. Zhang Song said with a very annoying expression. My brother is still over there. Why don't we see who is more ruthless? You. Yang Xiaobo took Yang Ming as a role model since he was a child. In his eyes, his brother was excellent in both character and learning. He still didn't know about Yang Ming's various misdeeds. Seeing this, Yang Ming also understood what was going on. Isn't he just an idiot who harassed my sister-in-law? Is it necessary to reason with him? But it seems that my brother seems to be a little afraid of this Zhang Song. Okay, why are you talking nonsense with him? Yang Ming put the plate on the table and said to Zhang Song coldly, Kid, do you want to get out of here yourself or do you want me to help you? Who are you? Zhang Song looked at Yang Ming's tall appearance and was a little scared. But when he thought that his brother was not far away, he had confidence. I'm sitting here. Where is it written that I can't sit here? Idiot! Yang Ming scolded. He reached out and grabbed Zhang Song's collar, picked him up and threw him to the side. He didn't even look at him and said, Little bastard, get out of here. Yang Xiaobo was dumbfounded. Brother, why are you so violent now? Violent? I want to reason with this idiot. Can he understand? Yang Ming said disdainfully. You can. Just you wait. If you have the guts, just sit here and don't leave. Zhang Song stood up and thought that he was definitely not Yang Ming's opponent, so he pointed at Yang Ming and threatened him. Come eat. Yang Ming didn't care about him at all. Instead he asked Yang Xiaobo and Shenhua to start eating. Seeing that Yang Ming didn't care about him, Zhang Song left angrily. Brother, did he go back to find someone? Why don't we take it out to eat? Yang Xiaobo was a little worried. After all, Zhang Song's brother Zhang Long was a ruthless character. Find someone? Let him find it. Yang Ming said indifferently, why take it out? It won't taste good if it gets cold when we go back. Hurry up and eat. Yang Xiaobo was helpless and had to eat. Shenhua was also a little worried. She had no appetite when she ate. Sure enough, it didn't take long for Zhang Song to come over with 3 or 4 people. One of the leaders shouted as he walked, Who bullied my brother just now? Yang Ming looked up. This person is a bit familiar. It seems to be the younger brother of Li Dugong who was originally in the 2nd year of high school. Yang Ming was eating chicken wings and didn't pay attention to him. Is it you? Zhang Long came over and was about to pull Yang Ming. Motherfucker, I'm eating. Didn't you see it? Being pulled by him, the chicken wing in Yang Ming's hand fell to the ground. Yang Ming was furious. Zhang Long was also stunned. When he saw Yang Ming's appearance carefully, the sweat on his face came out. The originally fierce face immediately changed into a smile. Brother Yang, why are you here? What's wrong? You don't allow me to eat? Yang Ming looked at Zhang Long and asked, You are quite badass. You threw my chicken wings to the ground. Sorry, Brother Yang. I didn't mean it. Zhang Song, you go and buy a pair of chicken wings for Brother Yang. Zhang Long quickly instructed his younger brother. Brother, he is the one who hit me. Zhang Song was somewhat inexplicable. Hurry up. Didn't you hear it? Zhang Long was so angry that he wanted to kick Zhang Song. Who is Yang Ming? He is a character that Zhang Yuliang will bow to when he sees him. Don't give me a death wish. Do you know? Liang said that Yang Ming and Qingnan's brother Bao are buddies. Brother Bao is a real gang. How can a little punk in our school shake it? Zhang Long warned. If you don't want to live, then you continue to provoke him. Damn. So ruthless. Zhang Song was very surprised. Then if we follow Yang Ming in the future, won't we be rich? What are you doing? Are you stupid? Do you think it's so easy to be in a gang? You might even die. We are students. Let's show off in school and have fun. Don't think about those useless things. Zhang Long said. Big brother, you are so strong. After Zhang Long left, Yang Xiaobo said with admiration, Xinhua, why don't you thank your big brother? Zhang Song will definitely not dare to bother you in the future. Thank you, big brother. Xinhua was also very happy. Students of this age had more or less violent worship. Xinhua was annoyed by Zhang Song. She also hoped that her boyfriend would be stronger and find some ruthless friends to threaten Zhang Song so that he would not harass her. However, Yang Xiaobo was the kind of child who was better. He didn't know any friends in society, so this matter had not been resolved. Today, Xinhua was also very happy to see Yang Xiaobo's big brother frighten Zhang Song's big brother, Zhang Long. She heard that Zhang Long was familiar with the punks outside the school, but now it seemed that her boyfriend's big brother seemed to be stronger. As a result, no one would dare to bully her and Yang Xiaobo in school in the future. What are you thanking for? That guy is an idiot. Don't bother with him. Yang Ming said indifferently. Big brother, you don't know how annoying Zhang Song is. He comes to harass Xinhua all day long and even calls her home. Yang Xiaobo said helplessly. This person deserves a beating. If he bothers you again in the future, call me. Yang Ming smiled. That's fine. Yang Xiaobo also had some violent worship. His big brother was a ruthless person, which made Yang Xiaobo very excited. His big brother had been his role model since he was a child. Now Yang Xiaobo felt that his big brother was great. Not only was he good at studying, but he was also strong in other aspects. He had such a big brother, so he would be arrogant in school. Right, Xiaobo, do you know a teacher named Li Huihua? Asked Yang Ming. Teacher Li? Big brother, are you talking about our class teacher? Yang Xiaobo said, Big brother, do you know her? Is she your class teacher? Yang Ming was shocked after listening. Is it such a coincidence? He was also my class teacher. Really, big brother? Yang Xiaobo was also surprised. Of course it's true. I came back from Hong Kong this time and brought her a gift. Just in time. Take me to see her later. Yang Ming said. That's not a problem, but big brother, you are quite thoughtful. You still remember your teacher. Yang Xiaobo sighed. Teacher Li was very good to me in the past. She was much better than Wu Qiren in junior high school. Yang Ming shook his head and said, I will remember it for the rest of my life. What? Shameless person? Xinhua was stunned when she heard Yang Ming's words. Yang Ming and Yang Xiaobo were also stunned after listening, and then they laughed. Xiaobo, your girlfriend is quite interesting. You can even association for this. However, the title of shameless person is quite suitable for Wu Qiren. Yang Ming smiled and said, it's really appropriate. After Yang Ming finished speaking, several people laughed again. Right, big brother, when you went to Hong Kong, did you see any stars? I heard that the stars there are easy to see. Asked Yang Xiaobo. I didn't pay attention to the stars. Do you like these too? Asked Yang Ming. Yeah, I especially like Shuya. She is the jade star who sang Childhood Love and the boy who sat next to me. Now she is very popular. Many people in our class like her. Xinhua and I are also her fans. Yang Xiaobo said. Riddle? What kind of name is this? Yang Ming thought nowadays the stars like to give their fans nicknames such as corn, cold jelly, and so on. This time there is a riddle. This Shuya Yang Ming had a bit of an impression. Yang Ming also bought a ring from her. If Yang Xiaobo didn't mention it, he would have forgotten about it. The ring was still with Xiao Qing. I have to come back and see it another day. However, listening to the song titles that Shuya sang, such as Childhood Love, The Boy Who Sat Next to Me, it was a typical puppy love. What Jade Girl? Jade Girl also fell in love early? I didn't see it. I'm not familiar with this person. Yang Ming shook his head and said. Big brother, you can't be serious. You don't know such a popular person? Yang Xiaobo had an unbelievable look. Your big brother doesn't chase after stars, so I don't know. I will go back and check on the internet later. Yang Ming smiled bitterly. I was expecting you to go to Hong Kong and ask her for an autograph. Yang Xiaobo said with regret. What's there to ask for an autograph? Yang Ming smiled, but he thought in his heart, I bought such an expensive ring for her. It's not too much to ask her to give me an autograph, right? After eating KFC, Yang Xiaobo took Yang Ming back to the entrance of number 4 high school. Yang Ming took out the sports shoes and casual clothes for Yang Xiaobo from the car, and then took out a piece of jewelry that he bought for Teacher Li. I'm sorry, Shenhua. I didn't know about my sister-in-law. Otherwise I would definitely bring a gift. Let's make it up next time. Yang Ming gave the things to Yang Xiaobo and said to Shenhua, It's okay, big brother. You don't have to be so polite. Shenhua said quickly. The three people walked into the campus together. Looking at everything familiar, Yang Ming was filled with emotion. A few months ago I was still a member here. The familiar teaching building, the familiar teaching building, the familiar playground, the familiar. Remembering the bits and pieces of high school, remembering Chen Mengyan, remembering Zhao Ying, remembering the ambiguity of the past. Fortunately, I brought another batch of students. Li Huihua said, Sit down. Right, how did you come in with Yang Xiaobo? Oh, I forgot to introduce you. Things are coincidental enough. Yang Xiaobo is my younger brother, the child of my third uncle. I didn't expect him to be your student now, said Yang Ming. Turned out to be like this. It's a coincidence. Li Huihua nodded and smiled after listening. Right, Teacher Li, this is the gift I brought back for you when I went to Hong Kong a few days ago. As Yang Ming said this, he put the jewelry box in his hand on the table. What is this? Li Huihua took it and opened it. After taking a look, her face immediately changed. It's good that you came to see me. Why did you buy a gift? This thing is quite expensive, right? Li Huihua was a woman. Naturally, she was more sensitive to jewelry than men. The necklace that Yang Ming gave her was real platinum at first glance. It was worth a few thousand yuan. Li Huihua felt that it was a bit too expensive. Teacher Li, this is my sincerity. You should accept it, said Yang Ming. That can't be done. It's too expensive. If it was 300 or 200 yuan, I would accept it. Your necklace is a few thousand yuan, right? Li Huihua shook her head and said, Then even if it's my sincerity, Zhang Bin and Chen Mengyan, these three people, it will be cheaper on average. Is this okay? Yang Ming had no choice and began to act shamelessly. Hehe. Your mouth is still so cheap. Li Huihua also laughed. Yang Ming's ability to quibble in high school was quite strong. Li Huihua had a deep understanding of it. Then you accept it? Yang Ming said happily. I still can't accept it. All of you are still in school and all of you are spending your family's money. When you start working in the future, you can use your own money to buy things for me. Whatever you buy for me, I will feel at ease. But not now. Li Huihua said sternly. Teacher Li, what you said is true, asked Yang Ming. Yes. Li Huihua nodded. You know that I always mean what I say. Hehe, then Teacher Li, you should accept it this time. I bought this necklace for you with my own money. Yang Ming shrugged and said, I am now doing some business with Zhang Bin. This time I went to Hong Kong for business. So, Teacher Li, can you accept it this time? You and Zhang Bin? Li Huihua was a little surprised. I didn't expect you to be so powerful. You started a business in university? But it was also because of Zhang Bin's father's company. Yang Ming said perfunctorily. Oh, if that's the case, then I will accept it. Teacher Li said happily. Of course, she was happy that her student was successful. Right, Teacher Li, I want to ask which class is Teacher Zhao Ying teaching now? Asked Yang Ming. Zhao Ying? You also brought her a gift? Teacher Li smiled. Yeah, when I was in high school, you and Miss Zhao were the best to me. Of course, I can't forget you. Yang Ming nodded and said. Li Huihua knew that Zhao Ying was biased towards Yang Ming. Li Huihua could see it from her attitude during the exam. So she didn't feel anything wrong. She just said with regret, Teacher Zhao Ying is not here now. Not here? Why? Yang Ming was stunned. Where did she go? Zhao Ying was a graduate student at Songjiang Industry University. She went to study there. Li Huihua said, right, she is in your school. You haven't seen her? Graduate student? He went to study? Yang Ming's expression was a bit strange. Yeah, don't you know? Li Huihua was also a bit strange. She heard Zhao Ying say that Yang Ming was her brother. Then the relationship between the two should be good, right? I haven't seen her for a while. Yang Ming shook his head. Then let's talk about it later. And you may be able to ask about it when you go back to school. Li Huihua nodded. Yang Ming and Li Huihua talked about some learning and work. In the blink of an eye, It was already 1:30 in the afternoon. Li Huihua stood up and said, "In the afternoon, I have to organize the students to watch the art festival. Yang Ming, do you want to watch it with us or go back to school?" "I will go back to school. I will come to see you again when I have the chance," Yang Ming said. Come and visit often." Li Huihua nodded with relief. There were so many students in the last batch. Only Yang Ming, Wang Jitao and the class committee came to see her. After graduation they disappeared. This made Li Huihua somewhat sad. "Definitely." Yang Ming nodded, then he said goodbye to Yang Xiaobo and walked to the school gate. Zhao Ying actually took the graduate student exam? After knowing this news, Yang Ming was shocked. What does she mean by this? She already has a stable job. Why does she still want to take the graduate student exam? Moreover, what made Yang Ming feel strange was that Zhao Ying didn't take the graduate student exam of those normal universities, but the graduate student of Songjiang Industry University. Thinking of the ambiguity between himself and Zhao Ying in the past, and that night the two of them almost crossed the line, Yang Ming's heart began to feel a little uncertain. Could it be that Zhao Ying did it for me? However, Yang Ming had always felt that Zhao Ying was a very rational person. Just like when they were in high school, the two of them clearly had a good impression of each other. But Zhao Ying clearly knew that the two of them wouldn't have a result, so she was very determined to stop the further development of the matter. Now that it has been so long, will Zhao Ying still come to me? Thinking of this, Yang Ming couldn't help but laugh at himself. Am I thinking too much? In the first cafeteria of Songjiang Industry University, Qin Mengyan expressionlessly took the food that she had just gotten and found a seat in the sea of people. "Hey, Qin Mengyan." There was a surprised voice behind Qin Mengyan. Qin Mengyan turned her head. She frowned first and then she said with some surprise, "Miss Zhao." Chapter 289. Qin Mengyan, come and sit down. There is space here. Zhao Ying greeted her warmly. "Okay, Miss Zhao." Qin Mengyan quickly walked over with the plate. "Miss Zhao, why are you eating here?" Don't call me teacher. Now we are both students. I am a postgraduate student here." Zhao Ying smiled. "Miss Zhao, you are a postgraduate student?" Qin Mengyan was a bit puzzled. "Yes, I am a postgraduate student in economics." Zhao Ying nodded and said, "I told you not to call me Miss Zhao. How about you call me Sister Ying?" "Okay, then I will call you Sister Ying," Qin Mengyan said. "Right, how are you and Yang Ming? You two are doing well, right? Why don't I see him?" Zhao Ying looked around and asked. When she mentioned Yang Ming, Qin Mengyan's face immediately darkened again. "What's wrong?" Zhao Ying saw Qin Mengyan's hesitation and asked curiously, "You two are at odds?" Qin Mengyan didn't know what to say. The sensitive Zhao Ying immediately realized that something was wrong. Something must have happened between these two people. "Mengyan, don't worry. What happened? Tell your sister." Zhao Ying acted like a big sister and said kindly, "Sister Ying, Qin Mengyan felt like crying. "Yang Ming doesn't seem to like me very much." "Ah? How is this possible? Is there any misunderstanding?" Zhao Ying was also stunned. Zhao Ying knew a little about Yang Ming's feelings for Qin Mengyan. Why did Yang Ming suddenly have a change of heart? But thinking of this, Zhao Ying was worried again. Since Yang Ming can have a change of heart for Qin Mengyan, then for me wouldn't it be even more? Speaking of Yang Ming, Qin Mengyan had no appetite and Zhao Ying also had some appetite. The two of them hurriedly ate a few mouthfuls and were full. "And it is still early. Let's find a place where there is no one. You tell your sister. What happened between you and Yang Ming? See if your sister can help you," said Zhao Ying. Qin Mengyan nodded. She really wanted to have someone to talk to. Yes, recently Qin Mengyan's heart was too depressed. She couldn't talk to anyone, not her parents, not her classmates. She regretted that she didn't have a sister or something. Today she met Zhao Ying. She was her teacher in high school, but now she wasn't. Moreover, the age gap wasn't big, so naturally she had a sense of intimacy. So when Zhao Ying asked her to call her sister, Qin Mengyan didn't hesitate to call her sister. Now Zhao Ying took the initiative to enlighten her. Qin Mengyan also wanted to talk to her. The two of them came to a quiet grove in the school. Now that it was winter, there were a lot fewer people here. It wasn't like summer where there were student couples sitting everywhere. The two found a clean chair and sat down. Zhao Ying took the initiative to reach out and hug Qin Mengyan. She let her lean on her body. "Tell your sister. What is going on?" Zhao Ying was actually very nervous. He was also wondering if Yang Ming had changed. If Qin Mengyan didn't have a chance, then what was the point of doing all this? Yang Ming. Yang Ming, he went behind my back and found another woman outside. There were no outsiders around. Qin Mengyan suddenly vented her feelings. She lay in Zhao Ying's arms and cried. Turned out to be a third party. Zhao Ying's mood was relieved because Qin Mengyan said that he found another woman outside, not that he didn't want her anymore and found another woman. The difference between these two was huge. The first situation meant that Yang Ming was just a playboy. Zhao Ying was quite clear about this. The second situation was that Yang Ming had a change of heart. So from the current perspective, Yang Ming didn't have a change of heart. This made Zhao Ying have a feeling of relief. Found another woman? Who is that woman? Is she his classmate? Zhao Ying continued to ask calmly. No, he brought her back from a trip. Qin Mengyan said with some anger. He and that girl lived together. He actually hid it from me and didn't tell me. Brought back from a trip? This time it was Zhao Ying's turn to be inexplicable. Yang Ming actually brought a girl back from a trip? And she's from Yunnan. Then Yang Ming actually told me that he was under the girl's voodoo and couldn't leave the girl. Qin Mengyan frowned and said, Voodoo? Wait, Mengyan, what is this? Asked Zhao Ying. Voodoos. Qin Mengyan told Zhao Ying what Yang Ming said to her. Then she pouted and said, I don't know if it is true or not. Since he said so, it should be true, right? Otherwise, Yang Ming wouldn't make up such a reason to lie to you, right? There are legitimate reasons. Why do you have to make it so mysterious? Although Zhao Ying felt that it was a bit unbelievable, she still chose to believe Yang Ming. This was the difference between her and Qin Mengyan. No matter what Yang Ming did, Zhao Ying didn't have the slightest doubt and chose to believe him unconditionally. This was a kind of trust. Although it was blind, it was very touching. This is fine. Sister, do you know? Yang Ming had that kind of relationship with a girl before. Yang Ming actually told me that he had to be responsible for the girl. Qin Mengyan said with some grievance. If he was responsible, then what position did he put me in? And he also shamelessly told me that he wanted to have the three of us at the same time. How can he be so shameless? Zhao Ying listened to Qin Mengyan's words and had a headache. This Yang Ming, what is he doing? How come there are so many messy things in just a few days after graduating from high school? 3 wives and 4 concubines? That's wishful thinking. However, Zhao Ying knew Yang Ming's character very well. Yang Ming was the kind of person who dared to take responsibility for his actions. If he said so, then he must be planning to do so. So she comforted, Mengyan, what is the matter with the girl you are talking about? Qin Mengyan sobbed and told Zhao Ying about Lin Jiyun's matter again. Zhao Ying sighed after listening. Qin Mengyan was really too stubborn. Can this matter be blamed on Yang Ming? Mengyan, in fact, in this matter, do you think Yang Ming is wrong? Zhao Ying suddenly asked. Wrong? Of course he is wrong. He is my boyfriend, but he actually wants to be responsible for other girls. How can he completely ignore my thoughts? Qin Mengyan said angrily. But if you think about it from another perspective, if you were the girl named Lin Jiyun, what would you think? Zhao Ying said slowly, she and Yang Ming are actually victims. Yang Ming is responsible for her, which shows that Yang Ming is a responsible person. He is not the kind of man who shirks responsibility when something happens. Mengyan, let me ask you. Do you like the kind of indomitable man? Or the kind of coward who escapes when he does something wrong? Qin Mengyan was stunned. Yeah, these days she was thinking about the problem from her own point of view. What she cared about was her own gains and losses. Now, after listening to Zhao Ying, she felt that Lin Jiyun was the real victim. Originally, it had nothing to do with her, but she was involved in the resentment between Yang Ming and Wang Jitao. Yeah, if Yang Ming is the kind of person who runs away when something happens, can I still like him? But it is a bit difficult for me to accept Lin Jiyun. After all, this is a new society. How can I accept the matter of having multiple wives and concubines? Well, even if this matter is forced, what about Lan Ling's matter? Qin Mengyan decided not to pursue Yang Ming's responsibility. After all, the girl hadn't appeared yet. Her threat was far less than Lan Ling, who already had a physical relationship with Yang Ming. Moreover, the most important thing was that Lan Ling and Yang Ming were already inseparable. Lan Ling, Meng, in fact, you don't have to be so serious. Zhao Ying smiled and said, according to what you said, it was Zhang Bin who dragged Yang Ming to find. It was to find a prostitute. Zhang Bin was such an honest student, but it was Yang Ming's first time going to that kind of place. This is already very rare. Sistering, he went to find a prostitute. Why is it rare? Qin Mengyan was dumbfounded after listening. Mengyan, you have to know one thing. Which man doesn't cheat? Those who don't cheat don't want to cheat. It's not that they don't have the conditions, but they don't have the courage. Xiaoying didn't know whether this was true or not. She just saw it from the internet. However, since she wanted to enlighten Qin Mengyan, then she used it. And this matter, in the end, you are still wrong. I am wrong. Qin Mengyan was stunned. Chapter 290. Mengyan, what is the most important thing between lovers? Xiaoying didn't answer her but asked. The most important thing between lovers? Is it mutual love? Qin Mengyan asked. No, mutual love is just a short passion. After the passion, the contradiction will come. Xiaoying shook her head and said, the most important thing between lovers is mutual trust. You didn't trust Yang Ming first, so you created an opportunity for Yang Ming to cheat. Qin Mengyan was silent. Yes, Xiaoying did make sense. If I didn't distrust Yang Ming wouldn't be unhappy. Even if Yang Ming went out to travel, I would talk to him on the phone every day. He wouldn't go and find a prostitute with Zhang Bin. Seeing that Qin Mengyan didn't speak, Xiaoying continued. Mengyan, things have happened. What you are thinking now is not how to face it but how to escape. In other words, how to get rid of the women around Yang Ming so that you can monopolize him, right? Being exposed by Xiaoying, Qin Mengyan was a little embarrassed. Originally your thoughts were right. After all, people are selfish. Not only you, but I also want to be the only one for my future lover, but some things don't happen according to our ideas. Xiaoying continued. For example, the girl named Lin Jiyun. If she forgives Yang Ming and accepts Yang Ming, you should be happy for her. After all, this is a mistake made by Yang Ming. He has the obligation to make up for it. If you keep stopping him and don't want him to do so, I think even if you get Yang Ming and become the only one for him, you may not be happy. Why? Qin Mengyan wondered. First of all, Yang Ming will hold a grudge against your approach. Even if he doesn't say it on the surface, he will definitely have a grudge against you in his heart. In this way, on the surface you have Yang Ming alone, but no one can guarantee that Yang Ming's love for you will be deeper. I even dare to say that you don't have as much love as he gives you equally. Moreover, this situation probably won't last long. The relationship between the two of you will be completely broken. Xiaoying said, if you forgive Yang Ming's mistake and actively help him make up for it, he will feel guilty. At this time he will treat you better. But the love that originally belonged to me alone is now divided into several parts. I still feel a little uncomfortable. Qin Mengyan hesitated. But it could be seen that she listened to what Xiaoying said. Divided into several parts? Isn't this just a novel? Xiaoying said with a smile. Let's give a simple example. You have a father, mother, grandparents and grandparents. Do you have conflicting love for them? Do you share your love for your father with your grandfather? Or do you share your love for your grandmother with your mother? Qin Mengyan was stunned and seemed to have figured something out. Another example, if you have a younger sister, can you say that after you have a younger sister, you share your love for your parents with your younger sister? Xiaoying said with a smile. This isn't conflicting. You are just worrying about nothing. That's true. Qin Mengyan nodded and agreed with Xiaoying's statement. And these aren't the main point. Lin Jiyun isn't the key to the problem. The key to the problem now is the girl named Lan Ling. Xiaoying said, Yang Ming is under her voodoo. And you know the consequences if Yang Ming leaves her. If you force Yang Ming to leave Lan Ling, it's tantamount to forcing him to die. Qin Mengyan, why are you always so stubborn? Can't you see such a simple cause and effect? Even if Yang Ming wants to leave Lan Ling for you, you should try your best to stop him. At that time Yang Ming will think that the voodoo is triggered and he is dead. What's the use of fighting for these? Yang Ming is gone. Do you still want Wei? Zhao Ying's words were like a heavy hammer hitting Qin Mengyan's heart. Yes, how can I let Yang Ming leave Lan Ling? It's no different from letting him die. I won't say anything else. You're a smart child. You should know how to make a choice, right? Zhao Ying patted Qin Mengyan's shoulder and said, if you like him and love him, then you should be tolerant. Love isn't selfish. Love should be tolerant. That's the true meaning of love. Selfish love will never last long. Only with a heart that tolerates each other can two people grow old together, isn't that so? Thank you, sistering. I will consider it carefully. Qin Mengyan nodded thoughtfully. My mood is much better now. It's good. Well, it's almost time. Go to class. I have to go to class too. Zhao Ying said. And sistering, can you tell me your phone number? If I have any unhappy things I will look for you. Qin Mengyan asked. Hey, you write it down. My phone number is 136x times x times 1099. Zhao Ying said. I'll write it down. Qin Mengyan took out her phone and entered the number. When she saw the phone Yang Ming bought for her, she couldn't help but feel a little sour in her heart. She remembered the past. After Qin Mengyan left, Zhao Ying also breathed a sigh of relief helplessly. She leaned on the bench and was somewhat at a loss. I finally came to Songjiang Industry University and became a student. In this way, the gap between my identity and his was no longer there. However, new troubles came again. At first, Zhao Ying thought to see if she could replace Qin Mengyan. After all, her starting line was similar to Qin Mengyan. At first, Zhao Ying was chatting with Qin Mengyan to learn some information about Yang Ming, but she didn't expect Qin Mengyan to tell her such a complicated situation. Now I'm not only facing Qin Mengyan, but also Qin Mengyan, Lan Ling and Lin Jiun. First of all, Zhao Ying couldn't defeat Lan Ling. Even if she could, Zhao Ying wouldn't do such a stupid thing. She was a very rational person who knew when to advance and when to retreat. Since Lan Ling and Yang Ming were inseparable, then there was no need to do anything useless. As for Lin Jiun, with Zhao Ying's understanding of Yang Ming's character, Yang Ming would never ignore her. Therefore it seemed that Zhao Ying was persuading Qin Mengyan, but it was better to say that she was persuading herself to stay calm. Since things had already happened, then she had to change her strategy. To be honest, Zhao Ying once wanted to give up, but she remembered that she spent a lot of effort to become Yang Ming's classmate. Zhao Ying didn't want her efforts to be in vain. However, now it seemed that Qin Mengyan's experience wasn't good, so Zhao Ying had to reconsider. Although she said that love was tolerant, Zhao Ying's heart was bleeding. This Yang Ming is really too fickle. Now I can only take one step at a time. Zhao Ying knew that the relationship between Qin Mengyan and Yang Ming was still unclear. It wasn't a wise choice for her to get involved. Although Qin Mengyan's situation wasn't good, she was still Yang Ming's girlfriend. Even if she had no choice but to accept Lin Jiun and Lan Ling, she would never accept me. Therefore Zhao Ying decided to wait and see first. At the same time, she calmly considered her relationship with Yang Ming. Is it worth it for me to do this without hesitation? Indeed, Yang Ming sacrificed himself to protect her several times. The impact on Zhao Ying's heart was too big. Zhao Ying was sure that she had fallen in love with him. However, the key issue still depended on Yang Ming's opinion. Zhao Ying regretted it now. If I didn't have so many concerns that night, would I be together with Yang Ming now? Seems that sometimes, people really can't be too scrupulous. Otherwise, how could there be a good saying? A shameless person is invincible in the world. Zhao Ying shook her head and went to class. Yang Ming also returned to school. The first thing he did when he returned to school was to call Zhao Ying, but unfortunately, Zhao Ying's mobile phone number was actually disconnected. In fact, after Zhao Ying was admitted as a graduate student, she changed her SIM card. After all, she was now a student and was ready to start again. But Yang Ming didn't know. Yang Ming hung up the phone. He thought, is Zhao Ying really a graduate student here? Then why didn't she contact me? Yang Ming decided to personally go to Zhao Ying's residence in the evening to take a look. After returning to the dormitory, Yang Ming turned on the laptop again and quickly studied the homework that Fong Tian gave him. But unfortunately, except for the gambling teaching disc yesterday, the other discs were very esoteric and difficult to understand. For example, the disc that he was looking at now was about first aid. There were many professional terms that Yang Ming couldn't understand. There was no other way. Yang Ming could only look at it for a while, then stop and search for relevant information on the internet. Then he looked for a while and continued to search. This repeated until Zhang Bin and Tian Donghua came back. Yang Ming only saw 1/10 of the disc's progress. Chapter 291. Yang Ming closed the information that he was looking at and shook his head with a bitter smile. Yesterday I learned so fast. I thought I was a genius. I didn't expect to be stuck today. Thinking about it carefully, the reason why yesterday's gambling skills were faster was entirely based on my X-ray vision. Therefore, many technical things didn't need to be mastered, such as remembering cards, counting cards and so on. As long as the momentum was good, it could be dealt with. But now that he was looking at the first aid CD, it wasn't the case. Yang Ming didn't have any medical knowledge now. Looking at these things was no different from reading a book. Moreover, it wasn't the kind that he was particularly interested in. Yang Ming was just learning for the sake of learning, so it was more boring and the progress was slower. However, these were very important things after all. Yang Ming wanted to become a qualified assassin. He must learn. Otherwise, if one day he was injured because there was no hospital nearby, wouldn't he die? After turning off the CD, Yang Ming opened the web and was ready to look at the news. Suddenly, he remembered Shuya that Yang Xiaobo mentioned, so he searched on Baidu. Originally, Yang Ming didn't pay attention to it, but because he listened to Fang Tian's words that day, he asked Yang Ming to pay attention to the news trends in all aspects of society. Plus, the name Shuya sounded similar to his first love, so Yang Ming was ready to find out more. After all, Yang Ming was also somewhat curious. How did this celebrity Shuya have this ring? Although this ring was a public decoration in that era, and it was distributed a lot in the country, wasn't this a bit of a coincidence? The name was similar and there was this ring, so Yang Ming had to have some doubts. But Yang Ming didn't think too much. Although he didn't pay much attention to these celebrities, he still often watched the news on the internet. Even if he didn't pay close attention, if Shuya was a very popular singer like Yang Xiaobo said, then her photos would definitely often appear on the homepage of the website. However, Yang Ming didn't remember seeing Shuya's photos. This was why Yang Ming didn't have much doubt about Shuya. Yang Ming entered the two words Shuya in the search box and clicked on the search. The moment he started searching, Yang Ming was shocked. Tens of millions of related web pages popped up. It seems that this Shuya is really a popular person. Yang Ming clicked on a few news articles and a website of Shuya's support group. Indeed, it was undeniable that when he saw Shuya's photo, Yang Ming's pupils changed instantly. So beautiful. Yang Ming couldn't help but exclaim in admiration. However, Yang Ming also knew that these were the results of makeup and the photos were taken with some professional cameras, so it was normal to look amazing. Yang Ming took a closer look. On the face of Shuya, there was no shadow of Shuya at all. It seemed like the two of them were not the same person. Because even if a person's appearance changed, it was impossible to not see the shadow of her childhood, right? Thinking of this, Yang Ming directly ruled out the possibility that she was Shuya. After all, how could there be such a coincidence in the world? Besides, in Yang Ming's impression, Shuya was more pure and beautiful than this so-called pure female celebrity. This wasn't the so-called beauty is in the eye of the beholder, because Shuya, who was still in junior high school, was praised by many people that she had the potential to be a big star. Yang Ming downloaded a few of Shuya's songs, including Years of Love and The Boy Who Sat Next to Me. Yang Ming tried to listen to it. Shuya's singing was good. Her voice was very sweet, but because he had to go to Zhao Ying's house in a while, Yang Ming didn't listen carefully. He planned to talk about it later. Damn, Yang Ming, do you like Shuya too? Zhang Bin came in and saw the photo of Shuya on Yang Ming's webpage, so he asked. Just looking at it. What's wrong? Do you like her? Asked Yang Ming. Who doesn't like beautiful women? Zhao Sisi also likes her very much. Right, when you went to Hong Kong this time, did you see her? Asked Zhang Bin. Why are you asking me this question? Yang Ming said helplessly, I didn't see her, but I spent a lot of money to buy a ring that she wore. Ring? Don't tell me it's the ring with the rose on it? Zhang Bing's eyes widened in surprise. How did you know? Yang Ming saw Zhang Bin like this and it was a bit strange. Damn, how did I know? This is big news, don't you know? A few days ago there were popular posts on many forums discussing this matter. Zhang Bin said, let me find it for you. As he said this, Zhang Bin used Yang Ming's computer to log in to a famous domestic BBS. Sure enough, in the entertainment gossip, a post in the top area was about this, and the content was very eye-catching. Mysterious rich man spent a lot of money in order to win the smile of a young girl. Yang Ming looked at the content of the post and found that there was no truth in it. It was all nonsense and it couldn't even be counted as groundless accusations. In the post it said that he was the young master of a big group. In order to pursue Shuya, he spent $400,000 to buy an iron ring at the auction. Anyway, except for the existence of buying the ring, the other words were not true. You believe this kind of news? I didn't even know what Shuya looked like before. Yang Ming shook his head and said, but bro, then why did you buy this ring? Zhang Bin asked curiously. I just felt that this ring was similar to the ring I gave to a person. I was hot-headed and bought it. Yang Ming shook his head. You're awesome. Zhang Bin said, you were hot-headed and bought it for $400,000. That is US dollars. Right, where did your money come from? Isn't it my godfather's? Yang Ming was right. This money was actually Lu Weishan's. Right, my godfather gave me a portion of the funds and wanted me to do business. I feel that I am quite familiar with jewelry and jades. Do you think we can work together to do something? Lu Weishan smiled. Your godfather? Zhang Bin said, that's great. I will call my father in a while. He will definitely be willing. Zhang Bin knew Lu Weishan's position in academia. If Lu Weishan was willing to participate, then even if it was just a name, Zhang's jewelry wouldn't be at its current scale. Zhang's jewelry would definitely be taken over by Zhang Bin in the future, so Zhang Bin was very happy to hear this news. That's fine. Then you and Uncle Zhang will discuss it. Let's find an opportunity to discuss it in detail. Yang Ming said. Zhang Bin nodded. Right, bro, can I see the ring you bought? The ring is with Xiao Qing. If you want to see it, I will get it for you next time. But what's so good about a ring? Yang Ming asked curiously. You don't know. There is news that the ring is very important to Shuya. Every time she attends an important event, Shuya always wears it on her hand. You say such an important thing, how can she just sell it casually? Zhang Bin said, and Shuya's family isn't short of money. She can't care about that little money. Moreover, didn't the auction proceeds all be donated? So I think there must be something strange about this. This broken ring, she wears it all day long? Yang Ming asked incredulously after listening. Yeah, it is said that there is some special meaning. Some people speculated that Shu Ya's former lover gave it to her, so she always wears it. But Shu Ya never explained this matter directly. Zhang Bin said. Yang Ming nodded. If this kind of thing didn't have a positive explanation, then most of it was rumors. There were too many rumors now. However, after listening to Zhang Bin's words, Yang Ming also decided to quickly get the ring from Xiao Qing. Maybe there was really something strange. What are we eating later? Zhang Bin saw Yang Ming turn off the computer, so he asked. What are we eating? I'm going out now. You and Tian Donghua eat first. Yang Ming said. You're going out? Where are you going? Zhang Bin asked casually. I am bringing back some gifts from Hong Kong for Teacher Li and Sister Zhao Ying. Yang Ming said, I gave the gift to Teacher Li when I went to Songjiang No. 4 High School today, but Teacher Li said that Sister Ying came to our school to study. I couldn't find her, so I am going to her house tonight. Zhao Ying? She's coming to our school? Zhang Bin asked with surprise. Yeah, I just heard about it. Yang Ming nodded. No way. Zhang Bin said, could it be that Zhao Ying came because of you? Don't talk nonsense. Yang Ming glared at Zhang Bin. I understand. Now is a sensitive time. Zhang Bin smiled. Chapter 292. Right, does Qin Mengyan know that I'm back? Yang Ming asked Zhang Bin. Of course, I spent a lot of effort to reveal it to her. Zhang Bin said proudly. How did you reveal it? Why didn't you just tell her directly? Yang Ming felt strange. If I told her directly, she would have to respond to me first. During this time, Qin Mengyan was alone. She didn't talk to me or Zhao Cixi. Zhang Bin smiled bitterly. So, I used a trick. What trick? Yang Ming was interested. In class in the morning, I pretended to answer a phone call. Then, I deliberately walked to a place not far from Qin Mengyan and said loudly, Yang Ming, it's you. Are you back? Did you bring me a gift? My voice could be heard by the whole class. I think Qin Mengyan must have heard it too. Zhang Bin said. Damn. Yang Ming was shocked. How could this work? But it seemed that Zhang Bin was quite witty. What was Qin Mengyan's reaction? There was no special reaction. She just looked at me and continued to do what she was supposed to do. Zhang Bin said, but in the afternoon I found that Qin Mengyan's mood was much better. Her face was restored to the past. I don't know what good things happened. Yang Ming frowned after listening. She wasn't good in the morning. Why did she suddenly become better in the afternoon? Was it because she knew that I was back? No, it doesn't make sense. If that was the case, Qin Mengyan should be very happy in the morning. I didn't have any contact with Qin Mengyan in the afternoon. According to Zhang Bin, Qin Mengyan usually didn't have contact with anyone. Could it be? Yang Ming was shocked. It was said that the best way to deal with a broken heart was to start a new relationship. Could it be that someone took advantage of the situation? Thinking of this, Yang Ming quickly said to Zhang Bin, Zhang Bin, how is our relationship? Sure. I have nothing to say. Zhang Bin replied strangely. He didn't know what Yang Ming wanted to do. Then I'll give you a difficult task. From tomorrow onwards, help me keep an eye on who Qin Mengyan is in contact with. It wasn't that Yang Ming didn't trust Qin Mengyan, but the current situation was that he had already disappointed Qin Mengyan, so Yang Ming couldn't help but worry. Are you serious? You want me to be a detective? Zhang Bin smiled bitterly. Look at my figure, do I look like one? In short, do you want to go or not? Asked Yang Ming. I'll go. Zhang Bin nodded. I have to buy a cap tomorrow. Don't. You'll be fine as you are. You're dressed so weirdly. If the campus police treat you as a bad guy and kick you out, it'll be troublesome. Yang Ming quickly stopped him. I'm just saying. Hey bro, you go and flirt with teacher Zhaoying. I'll take care of Qin Mengyan, said Zhang Bin. Yang Ming smiled and didn't say anything. He walked out of the dormitory directly. Coming to the place that he had been away from for a long time, Yang Ming's heart suddenly throbbed. He went up the familiar stairs and came to the familiar door. Yang Ming gently knocked on the door. After a long time no one answered. Yang Ming knocked again but there was still no response. Is no one at home? Even if Zhao Ying is not here, the little delinquent girl named Wang Xiaoyan who lives with her should be here, right? Thinking of this, Yang Ming used his X-ray ability and began to use his X-ray vision to see the situation in the room. Sure enough, the room was dark. Whether it was Zhao Ying's room or Wang Xiaoyan's room, there was no one in it. It seemed that they were really not at home. He came here for nothing. Helplessly, Yang Ming had to go back the way he came. If he knew this would happen, he would have used his X-ray vision to see the situation upstairs when he was downstairs. Then he wouldn't have to climb the stairs again. Feng Dao, this kid is definitely problematic. Otherwise, how did he know where the boss lives? He Shu asked with a frown. Yeah, why did he come to the boss? Has he mastered the secrets of our organization? Feng Dao also had some doubts. Probably. Otherwise, how did he ruin our plan last time? He Shu also nodded. Should we kill him or catch him? Feng Dao asked. I'm afraid we can't kill him. This is a residential area. It will be troublesome if people see him. Let's catch him and see the situation first. He Shu said. Okay, he's coming down. Let's get ready, Feng Dao said. He Shu nodded to show that he understood. Yang Ming walked down the stairs in a dejected manner. He suddenly stopped at the corner of the second floor and a cold smile appeared on his face. The dialogue between these two people had been seen by Yang Ming without missing a word. Aren't these two people who followed me in Hong Kong? Why did they come to Songjiang again? Yang Ming was very impressed with these two people. Yang Ming continued to go downstairs, but He Shu and Feng Dao did not know that Yang Ming had found them. They were preparing to give Yang Ming a blow. Come out. When he walked to the door, just as He Shu and Feng Dao were about to make a move, Yang Ming stopped and said faintly. He Shu and Feng Dao were stunned at the same time. Yang Ming found us? However, they were worthy of being assassins with some professional common sense. They understood that there was no such thing as too much deception in war, so they stopped their actions and did not stand up. They were now hiding in the corner outside the corridor door. He did not believe that Yang Ming could see them, unless a person's eyes had the ability to turn. Yang Ming saw that He Shu and Feng Dao stopped, but they did not come out to meet him. He frowned slightly and snorted. The fat man standing on the left and the one with a black mole on his forehead on the right. I'm talking about you two. Hey. Feng Dao and He Shu were suddenly dumbfounded. Their physical characteristics were clearly described by Yang Ming. It seemed that they were really discovered by the other party. However, it was impossible. How did he find out? Although they were puzzled, He Shu and Feng Dao still stood up. Anyway, they had two people on their side and they were trained assassins. It was 2 against 1. Why should they be afraid of him? Even if they fought openly, they had an absolute advantage. How did you find us? He Shu asked first. Who are you two? Why are you following me? You followed me from Hong Kong to Songjiang. Aren't you tired? Yang Ming did not answer He Shu's question but asked himself. You actually know? He Shu was stunned but then he smiled. But it doesn't matter if you know. You still guessed wrong. We followed you from Songjiang to Hong Kong. We wanted to kill you in Hong Kong, but we didn't expect you to escape. Do you think that I can't see through your tricks? You also deliberately waited for me for half an hour at the entrance of the alley. You were quite patient, right? Yang Ming laughed. He Shu's face was a little red. He didn't expect that all of this was seen by Yang Ming. The two of them thought that they had done a good job. Hey Shu, don't talk to him anymore. Let's catch him first. Feng Dao interrupted He Shu's words. Wait. Yang Ming frowned. You just said that you followed me from Songjiang? Yes, aren't you very powerful? How come you don't know this time? He Shu also laughed at Yang Ming once. Oh, I'm just curious. Why are you following me? Who sent you here? The last time he encountered an assassin at the door of Feng Tian's house, it made Yang Ming feel a little strange. Who wants to deal with me? Now that he saw these two people, it was obvious that they belonged to the same path as the previous person. They were not simple underworld people, but people who had certain professional knowledge similar to assassins. In other words, in a sense they belonged to the same kind of people as him. Ask us why we are following you. Don't you know what you have done? You still ask us? It's ridiculous. Feng Dao sneered. What did I do? Yang Ming was also stunned. I haven't offended anyone, right? Gu Jianchao. This guy was even afraid of the underworld. It was impossible for him to have contact with assassins. Who else could it be? Feng Dao. Bu Xiaojun. It was even more impossible. They were all students. No matter how ruthless they were, it was impossible for them to hire assassins to kill. You just pretend to be stupid. It's useless to pretend to be stupid. Feng Dao no longer said anything and said to He Shu, take him down. Although Yang Ming was not afraid of these two people, he was somewhat inexplicable. Isn't this hatred a bit too gratuitous? I don't even know what's going on and I'm being found. Yang Ming wanted to figure out what was going on, but looking at the two people in front of him, it was obvious that they didn't intend to talk to him more. Well, since they made a move, then Yang Ming wouldn't be polite. When they were under control, he wasn't afraid that they wouldn't tell the truth. Feng Dao and He Shu approached Yang Ming from both sides. The two people were very conceited. In their view, Yang Ming was nothing special. One person could deal with him. But because of Yang Ming's abnormal performance, the two people were a little vigilant. They didn't dare to relax, so the two of them went together. Chapter 293. Feng Dao grabbed at Yang Ming's left arm, and He Shu grabbed at Yang Ming's right arm. The two people cooperated with a tacit understanding. They basically made a move at the same time. This was the first time he fought with the assassin class. Yang Ming had to be vigilant. Although these two guys looked worse, Yang Ming did not dare to take it lightly. Many players with great disparity in strength fought together, but the weaker side often won. This was because the strong side was too conceited. He underestimated the enemy. Yang Ming was familiar with the fable of the tortoise and the hare since he was a child, so Yang Ming was not prepared to make such a low-level mistake. When the two people's hands grabbed, Yang Ming suddenly moved. His body suddenly squatted down. Feng Dao and He Shu grabbed at the same time. While they were surprised, Yang Ming had already clenched his fists and aimed at He Shu's and Feng Dao's lower abdomen. He suddenly stood up and punched to both sides. Although Yang Ming had undergone continuous strength training during this time, Feng Dao and He Shu were not vegetarians. People like them had stronger resistance than ordinary people, especially the abdominal muscles. Therefore, Yang Ming's heavy punch could only bring them unusual pain, but it could not give them any substantial damage. They could recover in an instant. However, this moment was enough for Yang Ming. Yang Ming quickly turned and slashed at Feng Dao's neck, trying to stun him. In this way, the other person was much easier to deal with. Otherwise, these two people were always on the left and right. Yang Ming was not Zhou Baotong. The taste of being enemies on both sides was not very good. Pa, a hand knife chopped down. Yang Ming felt some pain in his hand. This person's bones are really hard. Feng Dao groaned, but he did not fall. Instead, he rushed toward Yang Ming. Behind Yang Ming, a whistling sound could be heard. Yang Ming was shocked. This was bad. The most taboo in a fight was this kind of pincer attack. Once he let them succeed, it would be difficult for him to have a chance to turn things around. Yang Ming secretly regretted. He was afraid that he would kill Feng Dao. Yang Ming did not use his full strength because the neck was a relatively weak part. It was easy to kill with one blow. Yang Ming still couldn't figure out how he had become enemies with these two guys. Perhaps there was some misunderstanding in between. As the saying goes, it's better to squash enmity than keep it alive. Yang Ming didn't have his own forces yet, so he didn't want to make enemies everywhere. If he really killed Feng Dao, then this enmity would definitely be formed, so Yang Ming would be merciful. But I didn't expect this Feng Dao to be so resistant. Looking at Feng Dao grabbing toward himself and feeling He Shu behind him, Yang Ming secretly said that it was bad. He rushed out to the right side abruptly. I didn't expect that one day I would also become a crab. I look very embarrassed. However, because of Yang Ming's heaven and earth great shift, Feng Dao and He Shu couldn't see where they were. He Shu abruptly retracted half of his kick. He almost kicked Feng Dao's face. Yang Ming shouted that he was lucky. If he didn't have a rich experience of fighting when he was a street punk, he couldn't have escaped the blow just now. He Shu and Feng Dao saw that Yang Ming had escaped, and they rushed toward Yang Ming again. Yang Ming knew that the skin of these two people was thick this time, so he no longer showed mercy. His speed and strength began to increase. Yang Ming rushed toward Feng Dao. This guy was hit by Yang Ming's hand knife just now. Although he didn't faint, he definitely didn't feel good. At this moment he hadn't fully recovered. Therefore it was understandable for Yang Ming to pick on this weakling first. He Shu seemed to see Yang Ming's intention. When Yang Ming moved, he also moved. Yang Ming was helpless. He had to turn back to deal with He Shu. Because each of them was vigilant, the moves were mostly probing attacks. There were no fatal moves. Although it seemed that no one had taken advantage, Yang Ming was secretly anxious. He Shu was creating a chance for Feng Dao to recover. Once Feng Dao recovered, it wouldn't be so easy to deal with these two people. However, there was no way now. Yang Ming could see that neither of these two people was his opponent. Even if they were added together, they might not surpass him. However, the other party's advantage was that there were two people, and they had rich combat experience. Unlike Yang Ming, this was the first time Yang Ming fought with people at the assassin level. Anxious, Yang Ming was a little eager for quick success. As a result, his body suffered a few hits. Looking at Feng Dao breaking his own neck, it seemed that he had recovered. Yang Ming took a deep breath. He knew that he couldn't go on like this. Calm down. You must calm down. Who am I? I am the successor of the King of Assassins. If I can't handle these two small characters, then I can't be the King of Assassins in the future. Right. Yang Ming suddenly thought of a good idea. Now He Shu's weakness wasn't himself. He knew that Yang Ming wouldn't fight with him head-on, so his movements were completely to destroy Yang Ming's position to create time for Feng Dao. Now He Shu's weakness was Feng Dao. Perhaps He Shu had already seen it. If Feng Dao fell, then he couldn't deal with Yang Ming. Thinking of this, Yang Ming couldn't help but be excited. He had found a solution. Yang Ming adjusted his breathing slightly and then attacked Feng Dao fiercely. He used Yang Ming's unique skill, the Yang Ming flying kick. Sure enough, He Shu was shocked. He quickly came over to stop Yang Ming. Incredible things happened. The direction of Yang Ming's leg that was kicked out did not change, but the leg that played an auxiliary role changed the direction and quickly kicked toward He Shu's chest. He Shu had no time to dodge and was kicked. He didn't expect that Yang Ming's two legs could actually kick out at the same time. After giving He Shu a heavy blow, Yang Ming also fell to the ground. At this time, Feng Dao moved and quickly approached Yang Ming. Yang Ming was shocked. He reflexively jumped up from the ground and pounced on Feng Dao. He punched Feng Dao's chest. When Yang Ming's fist just touched Feng Dao's clothes, suddenly a strong current hit Yang Ming, making Yang Ming stagger. Taking advantage of this time, Feng Dao quickly pulled He Shu on the ground and hurriedly fled. Damn! Yang Ming cursed. This guy's clothes actually had an instant discharge function. Yang Ming wasn't willing to let them go just like that. He hadn't figured out why these two guys were looking for him. Yang Ming endured the hot and numb feeling from his hand and chased in the direction of Feng Dao and He Shu's escape, but he saw a motorcycle quickly disappear in the distance. Damn it! Yang Ming sighed. It seemed that it was absolutely impossible to catch up. Looking at his hand, it was already scorched red. Yang Ming shook his head and returned to Zhang Bin's Pentium. He drove away. When he went downstairs, Yang Ming saw the two people talking about how he knew where their boss lived. What boss? Zhao Ying was their boss? When this idea came out, even Yang Ming felt ridiculous. Zhao Ying couldn't have any connection with any underworld assassin organization. Then what did these two people mean? Did they make a mistake? Yang Ming was also more inclined to this possibility. Even if Zhao Ying was their boss, then Zhao Ying had no reason to deal with him. So Yang Ming wanted to talk to these two people, but this wish did not come true. It was really dangerous tonight. Since these two people did not succeed, they would definitely not give up. Yang Ming was sure that they would come to him again. Yang Ming was a little distressed. It seemed that he had to be careful. Fong Tian was abroad again and Yang Ming did not even have a person to discuss it with. Yang Ming was puzzled. He Shu and Feng Dao were even more puzzled. What did this person do? How could he be so powerful? These two people were also good assassins. They rarely had opponents. Not to mention the two of them working together, even if it was one-on-one, they would not be so miserable. Hey Shu, today I was wearing this electric shock suit which could release a high voltage in an instant. Otherwise we might have died there. Feng Dao said with a wry smile, my neck is definitely fractured. I won't be able to move for at least 2 or 3 months. This kid is really ruthless. Don't talk about you. My chest is like being hit by a big stone. This guy's moves are really weird. He obviously kicked you, but he actually kicked me instead, said He Shu. However, this also shows that this kid is definitely problematic, said Feng Dao. We can't let him go. What should we do? Asked He Shu. Let's go back and discuss it before we make a decision. I don't think it's possible to fight head-on, said Feng Dao. Well, I'll listen to you. He Shu nodded. Chapter 294. Yang Ming was very depressed today. Not only did he not see Zhao Ying, but his hand was also burned. Misfortunes never come singly. This was what Yang Ming meant now. Although it wasn't too serious and didn't affect the flexibility of his hand, it looked ugly. Especially the two bitches Zhang Bin and Tian Donghua. When they saw Yang Ming enter the door, they pointed at Yang Ming's hand and laughed. Ha! Yang Ming, did you go to roast pig's feet? Yang Ming's head was full of black lines. He went back to the room, turned on the computer and logged into QQ. Sure enough, this time Yang Ming paid attention. In the news link that popped up there was a report about Shuya. True love. Are you there? Yang Ming glanced at the sender of the message. It was actually I'm a superstar. It turned out that she was online. And I just came. Why did you change your avatar again? Yang Ming looked at the unfamiliar avatar and asked. Didn't you say that the last avatar was like that? I'm a superstar sent a knife emoji. That was what you said, right? Yang Ming asked. I don't care. How is my new avatar? This time I'm a superstar didn't dare to say, is my avatar badass? It's okay. Why do you always change your avatar? Yang Ming didn't understand the behavior of I'm a superstar. He had never changed his avatar since he applied for it. I like to change my image. I'm a superstar said, is this better or the last one? It doesn't matter. I will change it to TM tomorrow. You won't ask me. Yang Ming said. TM doesn't show an avatar. I'm a superstar was speechless. Right, you said that you are a star, right? Asked Yang Ming. Yeah, why? You still don't believe that I'm a star? I'm a superstar sent an angry emoji. Is there a star as free as you to chat with a stranger? Said Yang Ming. Forget it. I won't argue with you. What's the matter? I'm a superstar asked. Do you know a celebrity named Shuya? Asked Yang Ming. Shuya? I know her. Why are you her fan? I'm a superstar asked. No, I'm just asking. I only found out about this person recently. Yang Ming said, I'm just curious. Is there anyone with the surname Shu? Maybe it's a stage name. I'm a superstar sent a burning emoji. Oh, is she originally from Hong Kong? Yang Ming continued to ask. I don't know. You don't like her. Why do you need to know so much? I'm a superstar said in annoyance. Forget it, you wouldn't know even if I asked you. It's impossible for Shuya to know such a small character like you. Yang Ming said and sent a goodbye emoji. I'm going to sleep. Let's talk next time. I'm a superstar sent a bunch of exclamation marks. Go to hell. Yang Ming did not reply and went offline immediately. Because he was a little upset today, he wasn't in the mood to chat. There were too many annoying things recently. Early the next morning Yang Ming called Xiaoqing. Sister Xiaoqing, where are you? Of course I'm at school. Otherwise where else would I be? Xiaoqing heard that it was Yang Ming, so she said gently. Can I go to you? Asked Yang Ming. Go to me? No. Xiaoqing was stunned. Yang Ming, do you have a fever? Sister Xiaoqing, I don't have a fever, but you seem to have misunderstood me. Yang Ming said awkwardly. What's wrong with a brother looking for his sister? I didn't say I was going to do anything else. You dare to do it. Xiaoqing said angrily. Well then you come. I'm in the computer science building, room 221. Okay, I'll be there right away. Yang Ming hung up the phone and went straight to Xiaoqing's office. Yang Ming came to room 221 of the computer science building, but he didn't expect it to say, Office of the Deputy Director of the Computer Science Department. Yang Ming was stunned. He didn't expect Xiao Qing to be his immediate superior. The last time he went to the train station to do a civilization promotion, Yang Ming only knew his own department secretary, but he didn't know who the department head was. In the university, the department secretary and the department head were two different teams. The department secretary managed the department's government affairs and led the counselors. He was mainly responsible for the student union and joining the party. The department head managed the teaching and led the teachers in the department. He was mainly responsible for teaching arrangements and exams. Generally, freshmen didn't have many professional courses, so there was almost no chance to meet the department head, so Yang Ming didn't know who his department head was. Yang Ming thought, no wonder Xiao Qing is so powerful and Xie Yongqiang listens to her. Although she's not a supervisor, she's still a department head. Yang Ming knocked on the door and heard Xiao Qing's voice. Please come in, Sister Xiao Qing. Yang Ming pushed the door and went in, but he found that Xiao Qing was talking to a teacher. The teacher was Teacher Wang, who taught him the basics of computer science. Yang Ming, you're here. Sit down first. I have something to do here. Xiao Qing said. Little Wang, this is my younger brother Yang Ming. He's in your class, right? Xiao Qing pointed at Yang Ming and said to Teacher Wang in front of her. Sister Xiao, so Yang Ming is your younger brother, he. Teacher Wang said with a smile. Sister Xiao, you can ask Yang Ming. He can testify. I have been diligent and responsible for the students this semester. The person who reported that I was late for class must have ulterior motives. And I will investigate this matter again. Xiao Qing nodded formally. Sister Xiao, you see, the school will give out excellent grades in a few days. If I don't end this matter, I will be in trouble. Teacher Wang said with some difficulty. Then I have to discuss it with other people, right? Besides, I'm the deputy director. This matter still needs Director Liang's approval, right? Xiao Qing said. Sister Xiao, you don't have to hide it from me. Everyone knows that Director Liang will retire after the new year. You still have the final say in this department. Teacher Wang didn't want to give up. The excellent grades meant a bonus. Little Wang, aren't you making it difficult for me? Xiao Qing sighed and asked Yang Ming. Yang Ming, then you tell me, how is Teacher Wang usually in class? Teacher Wang, Yang Ming wanted to speak, but he saw Teacher Wang anxiously winking at him. Yang Ming didn't usually go to class, so he didn't know if Teacher Wang was late. However, he was serious and responsible. Yang Ming often saw him explaining some difficult problems to students, including last time when Zhang Bin didn't have a learning problem, but a problem about using the internet. When he asked Teacher Wang answered him seriously. Therefore Yang Ming felt that Teacher Wang was quite good. Besides, Yang Ming wasn't stupid. Wasn't it crazy to offend his own teacher? So he said, Sister Xiao Qing, Teacher Wang is quite good. He is usually very enthusiastic about the students. Besides, there is no evidence in the report letter. It can't be true. At the end of the year, there will be some people who are not qualified and have bad character who will think of ways to harm others. Yes. Teacher Wang listened to Yang Ming's words and nodded gratefully. Since your student said so, then this matter will end here. You go back and do your job seriously. Xiao Qing said to Teacher Wang. Thank you, Sister Xiao. Teacher Wang said quickly, then I will go back first. Before leaving, Teacher Wang didn't forget to nod to Yang Ming. Sister Xiao Qing, you are actually the dean? After Teacher Wang left, Yang Ming asked with some amazement. You just found out. So what you do every day can't be hidden from my eyes and ears. Xiao Qing smiled. I have nothing to hide. Yang Ming smiled and walked to Xiao Qing's back. He hugged Xiao Qing from behind and his hands touched her chest dishonestly. Don't mess around. Xiao Qing patted Yang Ming's hand. Someone will come in a while. Oh. Yang Ming's hand movement didn't stop, but his eyes were paying attention to the movement at the door. Yang Ming could see through things. He could see if someone was coming from afar. There is a camera in the room. Xiao Qing scared Yang Ming. Impossible. Yang Ming said indifferently. Camera. Can that be hidden from Yang Ming's eyes? I'm scared of you. Let go or I will be angry. Xiao Qing glared at Yang Ming and said. This time someone really came. Yang Ming quickly kissed Xiao Qing's face, then his hands pinched Xiao Qing's chest. He quickly released it and helped Xiao Qing tidy up her clothes. After doing all this, Yang Ming turned and sat on the sofa next to her. Xiaoqing felt strange. She looked at Yang Ming with a puzzled face. What is going on? Why is someone coming? Just as she was about to ask, there was a knock on the door. Please come in. Xiaoqing looked at Yang Ming suspiciously and said. Chapter 295. What are you doing, old Wu? What do you mean? Let me go. A middle-aged man with a big belly was dragged in by a skinny, bespectacled man who was about the same age as him. You are an intellectual and a researcher. Why are you acting like a hooligan? Wang Xuefan, I don't need to be polite to people like you. The man called Old Wu said fiercely. Professor Wu Tongshan, why are you grabbing Professor Wang Xuefan's collar? Xiaoqing said, why aren't you letting go? Director Xiao, I can't let go. This guy is a spy. I caught him. Wu Tongshan said coldly. What? Spy? Who are you saying is a spy? Xiaoqing was stunned. How come there is a spy in the university? What is going on? Director Xiao, look at old Wu. He said that I am a spy. What is this? I am so old. How can I be a spy? Wang Xuefan said with a bitter smile. Ambition doesn't depend on age. A spy isn't old. Wu Tongshan said with conviction. Wang Xuefan, you didn't expect it, right? I have long felt that you are not a good person. I deliberately left a little earlier and left you alone in the laboratory. You didn't expect me to catch you in the act, right? What do you mean by caught me in the act? Old Wu, you can eat whatever you want, but you can't say whatever you want. I, Old Wang, am also a senior at Songjiang Industry University. How can I be a spy? Besides, what did you catch me in? Wang Xuefan retorted. Yeah, what is going on? Professor Wu, you let go of Professor Wang first. If you have any findings, just say it. You can't keep grabbing his collar. Xiaoqing persuaded. There were a lot of things at the end of the year. Everyone knew that the university was about to start the selection of outstanding professors and lecturers. Once selected, it was all money. The bonus was a 5-digit sum. Therefore, some people who were not in a harmonious relationship and had a competitive relationship with each other began to move. If they didn't find the other party's little fault, they would find something to report to Xiaoqing. It made Xiaoqing's head hurt. She couldn't finish dealing with these things every day. However, it was the first time that she heard of catching a spy. I am afraid that he will run away. Wu Tongshan said. Why would I run away? I already said that I'm not a spy. Why should I run? Wang Xuefan said innocently, Old Wu, we've worked together for so many years. How can you say that I'm a spy? Humph, I caught you red-handed and you still don't want to admit it? Wu Tongshan sneered. Director Xiao, look at what this is. Wu Tongshan said as he took out a digital camera from his pocket. Digital camera? What happened? Xiaoqing also began to feel that things were a bit strange. The computers in our laboratory can't connect to the external network. They can only connect to the local area network. Also, the computers don't have USB ports and floppy drives. So, if they want to steal the code we wrote, they can only use the most primitive method to copy it by hand or use a camera to take pictures of the screen. Wu Tongshan said reasonably, I've long felt that there was a spy in our laboratory. For example, the last time when we were developing the medicine management system, our city's Xiongfeng Group's Computer Research Institute took the lead in developing the system and quickly pushed it to the market. After that, I found out that 90% of the code in that system was our code. There is no such coincidence in the world. I suspected at that time that there was definitely a spy in our laboratory. Later, after my careful investigation, I found that Wang Xuefan was the most likely because he often left a little later after the end of the research. In the early hours of this morning, after everyone finished their work, they all said that they were very tired and were ready to go back to sleep. However, Wang Xuefan said that he wasn't tired and wanted to do the program for a while. I kept an eye on it at that time. After I walked out of the laboratory, I didn't go home immediately. Instead, I waited for a while and then immediately returned to the laboratory. At this time, I saw Wang Xuefan holding a digital camera to take pictures of the computer screen. And what's displayed on the screen is the code we wrote for this phase of the project. What? Xiaoqing frowned and realized the seriousness of the matter. However, the spy that Wu Tongshan said was a bit scary. If the situation was true, Wang Xuefan could only be considered as leaking trade secrets. However, this crime wasn't small. After listening to Wu Tongshan's words, Xiaoqing also remembered the things that happened a while ago. The computer department invested a lot of manpower and material resources to write a management system for the pharmaceutical industry. It used their own database program that could effectively prevent the invasion of viruses. If this system was developed successfully, it would bring huge economic benefits to the school and the computer department. However, when the research and development was approaching the end, suddenly a software company called Masculine Wind Computer New Technology Development Company, Limited took the lead to launch this system. This made all the researchers in the computer department feel like they were struck by lightning. Although the researchers suspected that Xiongfeng Computer Company had used illegal means, there was no evidence. Moreover, Xiongfeng had registered the patent and related procedures first. This made Xiaoqing helpless. Moreover, it was said that the parent company of Masculine Wind Computer Company, Masculine Wind Group, had a very strong foundation. Even if they went to court, they might not win. They would also say that you stole their secrets. This was a shocking way of keeping secrets for these people who studied computers all day long. However, they didn't expect that someone would take a digital camera directly. Professor Wang, is what Professor Wu said true? Xiaoqing asked very seriously. Director Xiao, old Wu framed me. Wang Xuefan said quickly, yes, I took the digital camera license, but this camera was a gift I bought for my grandson. I was just testing the function myself. Testing the function? Didn't you say that you were going to write the program in the lab? Why don't you test the function at home? What are you testing in the lab? Wu Tongshan sneered. Is it important where I test? Can't I continue to write the program after the test? Wang Xuefan said. Okay, you were just testing the camera. You don't have to take every line of the program, right? Are you testing the camera? Wu Tongshan said ruthlessly, I have been paying attention to you for a long time outside the lab. You didn't notice, right? You are so insidious. Wang Xuefan frowned and said, well, even if you saw it, so what? I am testing the camera. What evidence do you have to prove that I am not testing the camera? Just based on the photos in this camera. Wu Tongshan said. Photos? Old Wu, what are you talking about? After talking for so long, it turned out that you thought I was a spy because I took the photos, right? Wang Xuefan pretended to be suddenly enlightened. If you admit it, you have nothing to say, right? Wu Tongshan said coldly, of course I am talking about the photos. Otherwise, what did you think I was talking about? Ah. Wang Xuefan suddenly laughed. What are you laughing at? Wu Tongshan was somewhat inexplicable. Yang Ming and Xiaoqing were also inexplicable. Could it be that this person had a mental breakdown? It's too funny. I can't take it anymore. I am dying of laughter. Wang Xuefan still laughed. Well, old Wu, then you look at the photos in the camera. Of course I have to look at it. Wu Tongshan frowned and seemed to feel that something was wrong. Why is Wang Xuefan speaking so strangely? Could it be that something had gone wrong? Wu Tongshan turned on the power of the digital camera and then turned the mode to the playback side. However, the screen of the digital camera turned blue with the words, no memory card, written on it. No memory card? Wu Tongshan was stunned. What happened? Where is the card? What card? There is no card in it at all. Wang Xuefan said calmly, I just took the camera to test the macro shooting effect. I didn't put the card in it at all. How is it possible? Right, when I just entered the room you were there moving the camera. Did you secretly take the card out yourself? Wu Tongshan asked. I took it out. Why would I take it out? If you don't believe it, you can search me. It just so happens that Director Xiao is also here. You can search me in front of her. Let's see if there is a card. Wang Xuefan said fearlessly. He spread his hands and looked innocent. Chapter 296. What am I going to do with the card? Don't take it for granted and frame people, okay? This camera is newly bought. I haven't used it at all. I haven't gotten a memory card yet. Wang Xuefan said with a little pride. Old Wu, can you let go of your hand now? This. Wu Tongshan let go of Wang Xuefan's collar. He was somewhat unwilling, but he couldn't do anything. He could only stare at Wang Xuefan angrily. Xiaoqing also frowned. It seemed that Wu Tongshan wasn't making groundless accusations. Xiaoqing also had doubts before, so she strictly changed the laboratory's confidentiality measures. Now Wu Tongshan caught Wang Xuefan using a digital camera, but there was no memory card in the camera. This made Xiaoqing a bit embarrassed. To be honest, after listening to the statements of the two people, She was more inclined to Wu Tongshan's statement. Who would use a camera to experiment with macro shooting? This was pure nonsense. Yang Ming saw things clearly on the side. At this time when he saw Xiaoqing frowning, he knew that she was in a dilemma. In this situation, Xiaoqing was the head of the department. In the absence of evidence, it was impossible for her to agree to Wu Tongshan's search of Wang Xuefan. Moreover, looking at Wang Xuefan's fearless appearance, he kept clamoring for Wu Tongshan to search him. Then it was obvious that the memory card wouldn't be on him. However, Yang Ming was still not very sure. Anyway, he had special abilities. It would be a waste if he didn't use them. So he used his X-ray vision and began to scan Wang Xuefan's body. Sure enough, there were no traces of a memory card on Wang Xuefan's body. No wonder this guy was so calm. It seemed that he had been prepared for a long time. Yang Ming didn't believe his so-called experiment with the digital camera's macro function. Most likely Xiaoqing wouldn't believe it, but there was no evidence. No one could do anything about it. Originally, Yang Ming didn't intend to care about this kind of thing, but it was related to Xiaoqing. Yang Ming couldn't ignore it. Looking at his woman in a dilemma, this wasn't Yang Ming's style. Yang Ming could only study this Wang Xuefan carefully. Well, since there was no memory card on the surface, then let's have a deeper X-ray vision. I've heard that it's not impossible to stuff the memory card in the anus. Thinking of this, Yang Ming continued to use his X-ray vision on Wang Xuefan. Yang Ming was suddenly amused. The memory card was really caught by Wang Xuefan. This guy doesn't mind being dirty. Since the evidence was found, Yang Ming began to be fearless. Let me say a few words. Yang Ming stood up when Xiaoqing was in a dilemma. Who are you? Wu Tongshan and Wang Xuefan asked at the same time. I am Sister Xiaoqing's younger brother. Have you heard of the saying, the onlooker sees the game best? Yang Ming said, I'm just giving you an objective evaluation of this matter from the perspective of a bystander. Wu Tongshan looked at Xiaoqing. How can I let an outsider comment on this kind of thing? However, since Yang Ming was Xiaoqing's younger brother, he had to give face to the dean, so he was in a dilemma. But Wang Xuefan didn't care. My memory card has been properly hidden. What can you do to me? You can't pry open my butt to find it, right? Well, Yang Ming, then you tell me. What should I do now? Xiaoqing looked at Yang Ming's confident look and decided to give him a chance to perform. The reason why Xiaoqing fell in love with Yang Ming was because of the sense of security that Yang Ming brought to her and the care and love that Yang Ming had for her. But who didn't want their man to be a capable person? So Xiaoqing also consciously wanted to see how Yang Ming's ability to do things was. It was also a test for him. Although Yang Ming couldn't handle it well, Xiaoqing's love for him wouldn't change. But who didn't want better? In fact, it's very simple. Professor Wang, you said that this camera was newly bought, right? Asked Yang Ming. Yeah. When Wang Xuefan heard Yang Ming say this, he thought that Yang Ming was leaning towards him, so he quickly said, I just bought the camera. It doesn't have a memory card yet. It's nonsense to say that I used the camera to take confidential photos. Oh, then can you show me the camera? Asked Yang Ming. Of course. Wang Xuefan nodded and said to Wu Tongshan, Old Wu, where is your camera? Give it back to me and show it to this little brother. Since he was Xiaoqing, Director Zhao's younger brother, it wasn't good to call him nephew. Wasn't that taking advantage of Xiaoqing? Therefore Wang Xuefan could only call him little brother, although Yang Ming looked very young. Wu Tongshan also felt that Yang Ming seemed to want to help Wang Xuefan, so he handed the digital camera to Yang Ming. Yang Ming opened the battery compartment of the digital camera and found that there was no memory card inside. Sister Xiaoqing, do you have an SD card here? Asked Yang Ming. The card? How big do you want? Asked Xiaoqing. It doesn't matter how big it is. Just give me one, said Yang Ming. Oh. Xiaoqing had some doubts, but she still did it. Who didn't have a few SD cards in their hands when they were in the computer industry? Xiaoqing opened the drawer and found a 128 megabyte SD memory card and handed it to Yang Ming. This is the original one in my cell phone. It was useless if it was too small. I changed it to a bigger one myself. Yang Ming nodded and took the SD card. Wu Tongshan and Wang Xuefan were a bit puzzled. What is Yang Ming doing? What is he doing with an SD card? Is it a prank? Looking at Yang Ming inserting the SD card into the card compartment of the camera, Wu Tongshan finally couldn't help it. What are you doing? Now is not the time to play with the camera. The most important thing is, do you think he is a spy? You have to say something. Whether he is a spy or not, we will know later. Yang Ming said faintly. He said in his heart, if it wasn't for Sister Xiaoqing, I wouldn't bother with you. It has nothing to do with me even if you were to fight with him. Yang Ming turned on the switch of the digital camera and then adjusted the mode to the photographing mode. He simply took a photo and then returned to the interface that played the photo. He looked at it and sneered. Professor Wang, is this camera really new? Yeah. What's wrong? Wang Xuefan didn't know why Yang Ming asked such a question. He bought this camera to shoot confidential information, so he had never taken it out for other purposes. The surface of the camera was very new. It was almost no different from a newly bought one. A newly bought camera. How can a newly bought camera take more than 4,000 photos? How did you take them? Yang Ming put the camera on Xiaoqing's desk and pointed to the digital camera. The file number of the photo said, Sister Xiaoqing, look. The number of this photo is IMG_4519. That is to say, this is the 4,519th photo taken by this camera. Professor Wang, didn't you buy a new camera? Isn't it equipped with a memory card? Why is the serial number of the photo more than 4,000? This. Wang Xuefan's sweat came out all of a sudden. Wang Xuefan. Heaven's net grinds slowly but surely. What else do you have to say now? Wu Tongshan listened to Yang Ming's explanation and immediately laughed. Xiaoqing was very satisfied with Yang Ming's performance. Yang Ming actually thought of such a way to solve this matter. It seems that this younger brother of mine is also quite smart. He isn't the kind of person who relies on brute force. How would I know that the serial number of the photo would be more than 4,000? Maybe I was deceived by a profiteer. It's not impossible to sell me a refurbished camera. Yes, it must be like this. I will go and find him. Wang Xuefan said as he wanted to take back the digital camera on the table. Wait. Yang Ming suddenly reached out and grabbed Wang Xuefan's arm. Don't rush to take it back. Let's just refurbish it. Professor Wang won't be short of money for a camera, right? Give it back to me. I still want to go home. Don't waste my time. Wang Xuefan said impatiently. Go home? I'm afraid you can't go back, right? Since Yang Ming knew that the memory card was stuffed in his anus, he had completely defeated him. What do you mean? Let me tell you. Don't think that you are so arrogant because you are Director Zhao's younger brother. Wang Xuefan said angrily. Am I arrogant? I'm just telling the truth. Sister Xiaoqing, call the police. Yang Ming said coldly. Call the police. Xiaoqing glanced at Yang Ming and saw that he nodded slightly to her, so Xiaoqing picked up the phone. Although Xiaoqing didn't know why Yang Ming was so sure, she still decisively listened to Yang Ming's decision. Xiaoqing felt that at this moment she was like an obedient wife who listened to her husband's orders. That feeling was very good. Director Xiao, don't joke around. Why call the police? Don't you think it's embarrassing enough? If we make a big mistake, our school's face won't look good. Wang Xuefan was a little anxious. Chapter 297. Xiaoqing saw that Yang Ming nodded to her, so she decisively dialed the police number and described the situation to the people on the other side. After hanging up the phone, Wang Xuefan began to feel a little restless. Director Xiao, what are you doing? If there is a problem, we can solve it internally. Why do you need to call the police? Wang Xuefan spread his hands and said, this matter is false. How can you simply call the police? Whether it is false or not, we will know in a while. You shut up. Yang Ming didn't want to waste time with him. He had already determined the truth of the matter, so he simply didn't want to bother with Wang Xuefan. Xiaoqing didn't know why Yang Ming was so confident, but since Yang Ming was so fearless, he must have grasped Wang Xuefan's fatal weakness. Otherwise, he wouldn't have tried so hard to get her to call the police. Xiaoqing thought that the reason why Yang Ming didn't say this weakness now was that Yang Ming was afraid that after he said it, Wang Xuefan would cover it up properly before the police came. How could she know that Yang Ming couldn't say it at all? After a while, the police came. This was a theft of intellectual property, and it happened in Songjiang's higher education institution. The police naturally didn't dare to neglect. When they came here, they began to ask about the incident. Wu Tongshan was the instigator of this incident, so when the police arrived, he told them everything he knew, adding fuel to the fire. The police took a statement one by one and then they questioned Xiaoqing and Yang Ming. Yang Ming also told the police about the reasoning. The police listened and nodded. Little comrade, I didn't expect your observation to be so good. You can even see this kind of detail. Police comrade, we suspect that the memory card is still on him. You should have a way to find it, right? Yang Ming reminded. Of course. You two take Professor Wang to the bathroom for a check. The police ordered the two men who came together. What are you doing? Why do you want to search him? Wang Xuefan was anxious. Professor Wang, we are doing an investigation. I hope you can cooperate. This is also an essential procedure to prove your innocence. If you don't agree, then we can only bring you back to the station. The leading policeman said solemnly. This. Wang Xuefan hesitated. If he was taken back to the police station, then the matter might be serious. But now, if it was just a body search, it was possible to deceive everyone. Who would pay attention to the inside of the anus? Thinking of this, Wang Xuefan said, well, police comrade, I agree to the search, but if you don't find anything, I hope you can hold others responsible. They are completely accusing me. We will deal with this according to the rules and regulations. You don't have to worry about it, the policeman said. All right. Wang Xuefan nodded and was about to go out with the two policemen, but he heard Yang Ming muttering to himself, Police comrade, I heard that there are people who specially hide things in their anus. Is that true? Yang Ming seemed to be asking casually, but in fact he was reminding the two police officers not to overlook this place. And this is true. The policeman nodded after listening, and the two underlings also paid attention. Yang Ming saw that his purpose was achieved, so he didn't say anything more. But Wang Xuefan's cold sweat fell down because of this. Yang Ming was right on his weakness. The result was predictable. The police found a 32-gigabyte memory card on Wang Xuefan's body. After putting it in the evidence bag, they took Wang Xuefan away. Wu Tongshan was very proud, but Xiaoqing's mood was very heavy. Although they caught this big tumor, they lost a lot of people because of it. Xiaoqing quickly reported the matter to the school first, and then rearranged the progress of the laboratory work. After doing all this, Xiaoqing leaned back on the leather chair behind her tiredly. Sister Xiaoqing, are you tired? Let me give you a massage? Yang Ming said as he stood up, walked behind Xiaoqing and pinched her shoulder. Yang Ming, don't trouble yourself. I'm fine. Xiaoqing smiled and shook her head, but her heart was very sweet. Hee, Sister Xiaoqing, what's the trouble? If I don't care about you, who will care about you? Yang Ming's hands didn't stop. Yang Ming had learned the acupuncture points of the human body, so he was also proficient in massaging. It made Xiaoqing feel very comfortable, and there was a burst of delicate breathing in her mouth. Right, Yang Ming, you're not quite right today. Xiaoqing looked up at Yang Ming. Before this, how did you know that someone was coming? Hee, this matter. If I say that it's my feeling, would you believe it? Yang Ming looked at Xiaoqing's lazy expression and couldn't help but want to kiss her. Feeling? Sixth sense? Xiaoqing didn't say whether she believed it or not, but asked a question. Almost. Yang Ming nodded. It's a strong feeling sometimes. I believe it. Xiaoqing frowned after hearing it. But Yang Ming, don't tell anyone about this kind of thing in the future. Why? Yang Ming suddenly asked. Yang Ming, you are still young. You don't understand the dangers of this society. If you really have this kind of perception ability, then if it is known by someone with bad intentions, it is likely to bring you a lot of trouble. Xiaoqing said seriously, if your ability is used for gambling or some other illegal things, what will the consequences be? Yang Ming had been silent about his ability because of this reason. How could he not think of it? He didn't expect that his casual joke would make Xiaoqing so nervous. However, it was also Xiaoqing's attitude that made Yang Ming very moved. Xiaoqing really cared about him, and it was a kind of selfless concern. Usually, when people heard that their lover had some kind of special ability, the first reaction was often how to use this ability to make money, or how to play the advantage of this ability. But Xiaoqing's first thought was Yang Ming's safety after hearing it. How could this not make Yang Ming feel moved? For a man to have a woman like Xiaoqing who only asked for things without asking for anything in return, what a blessing it was. Yang Ming gently hugged Xiaoqing from behind. Xiaoqing also felt the sudden change in Yang Ming. She thought that he was in love, so she raised her head and wanted to kiss Yang Ming as a reward. But she didn't expect Yang Ming to kiss Xiaoqing. Don't. This is the office. Xiaoqing blushed and broke away from Yang Ming's attack. Or, let's go to my apartment at noon. Xiaoqing was touched by Yang Ming and she was a little moved. After they returned from Hong Kong, they hadn't been intimate. Although only 3 days had passed for people in love, 1 day apart was like 3 years. Yang Ming said with some joy after hearing it. He didn't do it purely because of lust, but because he was moved in his heart. Yang Ming was considering an important decision. He wanted to tell Xiaoqing about his special ability. He didn't want to hide anything from Xiaoqing. A woman like her would never betray him. Yang Ming absolutely had this confidence in Xiaoqing. He believed that even if she were to die, she wouldn't betray him. But today's time was obviously not very ripe. Yang Ming decided to find a suitable opportunity to talk about it. Well, this is the office. Pay attention to the influence. You don't want others to gossip about me, right? Xiaoqing said with a smile. She said so, but she didn't care about these things in her heart. If there was no relationship with Lu Weishan, others could say whatever they wanted. When others gossip, it's because they are jealous of me. Although Yang Ming said so, he took the initiative to let go of Xiaoqing. You are just making your sister happy. Xiaoqing smiled knowingly. Right, Yang Ming, why are you looking for me? I was busy just now. The whole morning is almost over. Oh, in fact, it's nothing. The ring that I bought at the last auction is with you, right? Asked Yang Ming. Yeah, it's at our dad's house. I was wondering. You spent so much money to buy the ring. Why didn't you want it? Xiaoqing said, I put it on the bookshelf in the study. You can go and get it directly. Okay, I got it. Yang Ming said. Why? Are you interested in the big star? Xiaoqing asked with a smile. What interest? My brother Yang Xiaobo is her fan. When we talked about it that day, I remembered such a thing. Said Yang Ming. Yang Ming said so, but he wanted to get the ring as soon as possible. An indescribable intuition told him that there might be something wrong with the ring. Chapter 298. In the afternoon, Yang Ming and Xiaoqing left the school together. The relationship between the two of them was that of sister and brother. If they were too secretive, it would make people suspicious. So they might as well be open about it. So even if someone asked about Yang Ming, Xiaoqing would say that he was her godbrother and go to her apartment for lunch. There wouldn't be any suspicion. The more open you are, the more it will be fine. The more sneaky you are, the more misunderstood you are. Xiaoqing lived in a standard single apartment just like a hotel. There was a bed, a desk, a laptop and some messy books. In the small compartment at the door there were some kitchenware. Yang Ming locked the door, then he stepped forward and hugged Xiaoqing. The two of them had been restraining their desires. It could be seen that when they went upstairs, Yang Ming and Xiaoqing were a little excited. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. The two of them were ignited instantly. In the afternoon, after coming out from Xiaoqing's residence, Xiaoqing's face still had a blush. Yang Ming wanted to go to Lu Weishan to get the ring, so Xiaoqing went back to school first. The two of them just had some ambiguous things, so their expressions were definitely not natural. So to avoid being seen by others, they didn't go together. Yang Ming came to Lu Weishan's house. Chu Huifang and Lu Weishan just had a meal and were resting. When they saw Yang Ming coming, they were very happy. Big Ming, have you eaten? Chu Huifang asked. Godmother, I have eaten. I just ate at Sister Xiaoqing's house. Yang Ming nodded. Oh, you ate with Qing? The relationship between you siblings is not bad. Chu Huifang smiled. Not bad. Sweat, we are almost one person. Yang Ming thought in his heart. Come back here to eat next time. You let Qing come too. It's troublesome to cook by yourself. I have to cook every day. It's just one more person's share. Chu Huifang said. Okay, Godmother. Yang Ming promised. Don't you have class in the afternoon? Why are you here? Chu Huifang suddenly remembered that today was Tuesday. Yang Ming should still be in school in the afternoon. Didn't I buy a ring at the last auction? Sister Xiaoqing said that it is here. I'm going to take it back and study it. Yang Ming smiled. Oh, is that so? Then take the ring and go to class quickly. It's almost 1 o'clock. Don't delay business. Chu Huifang said and went to the study to get the ring for Yang Ming. In the Xiongfeng group, the chairman of the Xiongfeng group, Wang Shifan, angrily slammed the table and roared, What the hell is going on? Chairman, I have already asked someone. It is because Professor Wang was caught while he was filming confidential information. The evidence is conclusive. This time it is estimated that something big will happen, said Wang Shifan's secretary Huang Yukai. Can you let the school come forward and settle this matter? Asked Wang Shifan. I'm afraid this is not so simple. It is said that he was caught by the dean and personally reported to the police. Huang Yukai said. Xiao Huang, this matter is handed over to you. You go to Songjiang Industry University in the afternoon and find the dean. Find a way to let him not pursue my brother's responsibility. Wang Shifan instructed. Okay, I will try my best. Huang Yukai nodded quickly. Let him say how much money he wants. You can decide if it is less than 1 million. Nothing can happen to my brother, said Wang Shifan. It turned out that Wang Shuifan was actually Wang Shifan's half-brother. The two people had been colluding together. Wang Shuifan stole information from the school and then gave it to his younger brother, Wang Shifan's company, to launch a product for profit. Huang Yukai was born as a punk. He was a little smart. Once Wang Shifan met Huang Yukai through a friend's introduction. He immediately felt that this person was a talent just like his name, Yue. After that, he was regarded as a confidant and entrusted with important tasks. However, Huang Yukai did not let him down. He did a few things beautifully. In particular, this person knew a lot of friends in the society. When he did things, he used a set of means in the underworld to do things that couldn't be done normally. After a few opponents were intimidated, they were easily softened. So this time Huang Yukai was also confident. Isn't it just a dean? This group of cultured people, I guess if I intimidated them, wouldn't they be obedient? At that time I would use both the carrot and the stick. With a carrot and a stick and some money, it would be easy to settle. It was no wonder that Huang Yukai was complacent. The bosses that he threatened before were all tough at the beginning. They were like cows standing on their heads. However, Huang Youcai's phone call brought in a few social scammers. In the beginning, some of the bosses wanted to call the police. Huang Yukai directly threatened them. If they dared to call the police, there would be no peace in the future. No one was willing to take their own safety as a joke. Now that the police were called, these people could indeed be arrested. However, these people didn't commit a big crime. After a few days, wouldn't they be unlucky? Therefore, those bosses could only admit defeat. This time Huang Yukai also felt that it was a simple matter. Before, he deliberately exaggerated the difficulty of the matter in order to make the boss think more highly of him. After all, the character involved was the boss's elder brother. If things were done well, then his reward would be great. Although Huang Yukai was essentially a punk, he was now Wang Shifan's secretary, so he dressed like a human. When he arrived at the university, others thought that he was a cultured person, so it was easy for him to inquire about the location of the computer science dean's office. I didn't expect the dean, Xiao Qing, to be a woman. Huang Yukai licked his lips and smiled. This way it's easier. If she doesn't agree, I will find someone to rape her. Huang Yukai found Xiao Qing's office with a card up his sleeve. He didn't knock on the door, but he pushed the door and went in. Who are you? Xiao Qing looked up and saw a man coming straight over. She couldn't help but be stunned. Let me introduce myself. My name is Huang Yukai. I'm from the Xiongfeng group. Huang Yukai sat on the sofa in Xiao Qing's office. Why are you here? Xiao Qing frowned. Why am I here? I'm afraid I don't have to say it clearly, right? Huang Yukai was a veteran, so he spoke in an experienced manner. Director Xiao, there are some things that we understand in each other's hearts. You and I are sensible people, so we won't say those empty words. How much do you need? Give me a price. I don't understand what you are talking about. Xiao Qing's face immediately turned cold. Of course, she knew what Huang Yukai was talking about, but Xiao Qing didn't want to care about these things that he said. 500,000? Huang Yukai gave his own price. Mr. Huang, I really don't understand what you are doing here. Please go back. I still have to work. Xiao Qing said coldly. 1 million. Huang Yukai gave the bottom line of what he could reach. Sorry. Mr. Huang, excuse me. Xiao Qing said faintly. Everyone has a value. I don't know what is Director Zhao's bottom line. It doesn't matter. You can tell me. I can ask the boss for instructions for you. Huang Yukai had seen a lot of people like Xiao Qing who were stubborn at the beginning, so he didn't take it seriously. Mr. Huang, please don't bother me anymore or I will call the security office. Xiao Qing warned. Oh, did Miss Xiao really decide to do this? Huang Yukai suddenly stood up and leaned on Xiao Qing's desk. Don't blame me for not warning you. You are doing a very dangerous thing. After that, Huang Yukai sat back and continued like a storyteller. It's almost the end of the year, right? At this time, the public security isn't very good. Robberies and rapes happen from time to time. Sometimes it's better to take a step back. Miss Xiao should understand this truth, right? Are you threatening me? Xiao Qing said with a frown. Threatening? Not really. I'm telling Miss Xiao to pay attention to personal safety. Did you see a notice in the mall that warns against pickpockets? Do you think the mall is threatening you? Huang Yukai laughed and said, also the road is slippery in the dark. Traffic accidents often happen. Miss Xiao is as beautiful as a flower. It's a pity that such a fragrant piece of jade is ruined. You should go or I will call the police. Xiao Qing warned. Okay. Huang Yukai shrugged indifferently. I'm not afraid to tell you that there was a woman who, like you, told me that she wanted to call the police. Do you know what happened to her? I'm not interested to know. Xiao Qing said this, but she was a little worried. After all, she was a woman. After she was raped, she was thrown into the sewer. It's a pity. Huang Yukai shook his head. I heard it was done by a vagrant. You. In the face of a naked threat, Xiao Qing was angry but didn't dare to say anything. Well, Miss Xiao, this is my business card. I hope you can give me a positive answer before you get off work today. Otherwise, you have to bear the consequences. If you don't believe it, then pretend that I didn't say anything. Huang Yukai took out a business card and put it on Xiao Qing's desk. Then he turned and walked out of the office. You're tuning in to the Biao's Wuxiao Chronicles YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.